Smash that like button and subscribe right now.
This video features materials protected by the Fair Use Guidelines of Section 107 of the Copyright Act. All rights reserved to the copyright owners.
Is this thing on? Hello everyone. Thanks for joining us at the bar. Don't forget to take care of your server, even if that happens to be you. Let's head over to the table to see what Rob, Jason, and Brian are up to today.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, we are back and it's Friday night.
Yeah, it is. And tonight it's just Bob and I.
And I'm running the controls tonight, so everything should be just fine. We've got Brian away from the keyboard, so we should be doing good.
Absolutely. We had ordered a chicken to train to do the task, but it didn't make it in time. So, Bob's just going to run it, and
I'm doing double duty tonight.
Yeah. So it's really simple.
Yeah.
You could train a manatee to do it.
Right.
And,
Brian's our friend, and we feel bad for him because he couldn't be here tonight, and there's a special reason for that.
Yeah, we'd like you to keep him in your thoughts. He's trying it from the other side this time, and the doctor said it's the worst case of anal warts that he has ever seen on human or animal. And
wow.
I mean, they literally, he couldn't use one of the little inflatable donuts, a cushion, nothing. He's just prone at this point, laying flat. Yeah. They burned off about a third of them.
Well, they said 8 hours on the table was all they could do at a time.
That's the surgeon, the team was exhausted. One of the warts had a tooth in it.
Yeah.
It's, just tooth material growing. So, almost like a tumor or something.
Well, they said it wasn't that bad except for the fact that they already found a filling in it.
It had a gold crown.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going on there, but
they're just hoping to get the next second third and the third done before they start growing back, and he has to go in for a fourth session. So we're just keep him in your thoughts, people, because he's going through a lot right now.
They said it literally looked like a red cauliflower.
Yeah.
When they spread his ass cheeks. So, and I don't know if that's from multiple peggings that maybe the toys weren't washed correctly, before they were used on him.
Or it just might have been the amount of times they were used.
The sheer
volume.
The sheer amount.
And, in today's modern times, we just don't have studies that have studied that much.
Yeah. I mean, how much pegging is too much?
Right.
He
was just going with the philosophy of it feels good, go with it.
Well, and also, he's a married man. He wants his wife to be happy. And, and this is one of the things that makes her happy is to deeply ream him with with an old fashioned leather dildo that we covered in a previous show.
From the 1800s.
But they're not you can't sanitize them very well.
Right.
And let's see, it looks like he's joined us here. He says, "I hate you." And I understand that when you're in pain, people can misplace
they lash
their
out.
emotion. You bet. And that's normal. They all they gave him was it's like Anbesol, but it's called Anusol, and it just kind of is a deadening agent. You just swab it on there,
But his wife wanted to swab it on with the peg.
Right, and
he wasn't up for that yet.
Yeah, and in the chat, my girlfriend says I knew I'd like her. So props to Annie, and he'll be ship shape in no time.
We just hope you get your relationship back together sometime soon.
Yeah, exactly. It's there's nothing wrong with the cuckold lifestyle, but occasionally he likes to
participate.
He just he likes to have a little fun too. So that's what's going on there.
Yeah.
But we're thinking of you, Brian.
Yep.
And
we wish you all the best. And just try not to get stiff during the broadcast.
Exactly. We've ordered that case of Tux for you as well for some soothing relief.
Hey, Will Smith swears by him.
Right. So
or at least he did in the 90s. I don't know if it's still the same way.
Tux medicated pads and stuff. And anyway, I can tell by the chat that he's laying face down right now and wanting us to move on. We don't want to divulge too much of his personal information.
Right. HIPAA rules and such.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but the man hasn't been able to use dry toilet paper in for years. It's nothing but flushable wipes for him.
All right. So
how's your week been, Bob?
it's been good. And I just wanted to ask you, how's your penis?
Mine's fairly good. I mean,
I don't think we ask as guys, we ask each other how our penises are often enough.
I don't think so. And you know what? Is that not a major part of who we are?
Exactly.
And identify as a man. It's a penis. I know that some women roll their eyes. Yes, you're obsessed with your penis. We are obsessed with our penises. And if you'll notice, if you're the mother of a boy, you learn pretty quick that once that baby finds his penis,
he never lets it go.
Never stop messing with it.
Right.
And that's just how it is because it's a penis.
Right.
And they're awesome. They're awesome to possess and use. Not so awesome if it's cornered you in the stall of a bathroom at a gas station.
True.
And which, Brian, we understand,
Right.
So, but anyway, my penis is, it's, 50-year-old penis.
Still feels as good as what it was when I was a teenager. So
it's as soft and supple as and the same size, I might add, as when I was a toddler. So it's just perfect. So that's it.
Well, speaking of, been trying to do a little bit to take care of myself a little better.
Sure.
Went down this afternoon and got the manicure and pedicure for the first time since before the pandemic hit.
Yep.
And I forget how enjoyable that is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we have a caller.
Oh my gosh, we got a caller right off the bat. Hey. Okay.
What the hell's wrong with you guys?
Hey, is this Brian?
Yes, this is Brian.
Well, your voice sounds funny, strained, like you're face down, talking into a phone.
Did they give you one of those little round donuts that you use for your face, so you're not like pressed down into the couch?
Right, like
it cost extra.
Oh, okay.
Like get you like a massage table where there's a hole so you can sit your face down it.
So your face is just pressed in the cushion like Annie normally does to you when she's having her way and.
Man, I'm getting on here and I'm like listening and I'm like, oh man, they're going to say something nice about what's happened today. And then it turns into me.
Well, you know, brother, you're important to us. And that's why we want our listeners. Let me tell you, there's some people in France right now that are sending best wishes to you and your anus. And I think that ain't not bad.
No, that's not.
So,
no, that's not bad.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so there you go. And you know what? We're glad you actually called. You didn't just prank us like I like to do. So, that's...
Yeah, I know. I thought, no. I was like, I said, listen. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm calling in. These bastards have gone too far.
Well, we're sorry to divulge that information, but, when you just become so overwhelmed with care and concern for your brother, you've got to talk and get it out.
Yeah.
And
this is therapy for us.
And anal warts are no joke.
They aren't.
They're highly contagious.
Not.
They're highly contagious.
Right.
Yeah.
And luckily, there's no situation possible that we could have contracted them from you. So I'm happy about that.
Exactly. I mean, you might have contracted them from one of
Are
us.
you sure about that?
You could have got it.
Exactly.
You could have got it from us. Maybe there was a toothbrush or something. I don't know. But either way, you could have caught something. I prayers. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, guys, I greatly appreciate it. I really do.
So when is the next third of the procedure?
Yeah. When are they going to start?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine there's a lot of fluid seepage and, it's weeping a lot. So
yeah.
I'm sure they got you gauzed up good too.
And you thought that the drain was going to be for fun, but it's not.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
you thought that was a new toy you hadn't seen before.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to let the two of you get back to the show.
All right.
Absolutely.
You get off here.
You rest up.
Yeah.
And,
all right. You know what? I will do that, especially for you two. And guess what? There's going to be hell to pay.
Take an extra pain pill.
And Janie says, big hugs from Florida for your anus, Brian, on the chat.
Oh, well, how sweet of her.
How do we put that up on the big screen?
You got to click on it. Where the icon is, you click it and it'll show up on the screen. and then you click it in to take it off.
Well, I don't even know how to do any of that.
Yeah,
crap,
we'll leave that for you next time.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all have fun. I'll holler at you later.
All right, take care.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Well, that was fun.
That was enjoyable because
right. I mean, as much pain as he's in with his anal warts.
Oh gosh, yeah, and what a trooper! What a trooper!
Yeah.
He still called into the
Right.
show.
He couldn't drive down because of his condition, but
Sure.
he called in.
Sure,
That was-
exactly. I mean, you could strap him to a luggage rack, but put a face shield or something on him, keep the bugs.
Well,
off
people
of
just
him.
don't have station wagons these days.
I'm telling you, they have dad vans.
Yeah, we
And,
could. But if you had him in the old Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser,
oh God, with the fake wood. paneling
absolutely,
and
you
shit,
just
come
toss him
on.
in there,
You
and
bet. You bet.
in fact, didn't they used to make ambulances out of some
Yeah.
version of those back in the day?
yeah, I think so. And
You could get a whole gurney in there if it was short enough.
right. And so, yeah, he could have laid him in the back of a long, SUV with fold down seats and everything. But still, here he'd have just had to plank
Right.
on the table, and that just looks stupid. So,
Oh, we'd have hooked him up.
exactly. Come by, slap him on the ass every now and then. Good show, baby. So, yeah. So, this week has been fairly eventful, just full of red tape and bullshit and
Yeah.
me shopping at Walmart
We had to put Janie on a plane and send her.
to Florida,
Yep.
where she is eating all manner of delicious things and out there and, showing off all the good stuff because she's in good weather near the ocean.
Right.
And I don't begrudge any other men that, but I personally would have liked to have been there to see it as well, but I hope that you're having fun, Janie, and that your friends aren't judging you if they're listening to this.
Yeah.
Like, who are you talking to? Is that old dude? That's him.
Okay, so interesting thing happened today. I told you went and got the mani pedicure.
Yes.
Okay, first time since the
Excellent.
pandemic. Walk into the place. They have got big, huge sheets of acrylic in front of all of the pedicure chairs,
Oh wow.
so that I guess it's to help prevent contamination or infection, things like that.
Sure. That
But
makes sense.
but they splash the shit out of the water in the foot tub.
yeah,
So
it's like
it's kind of
it's more just for the
for the essence or for the
for the
they're-
illusion
yeah,
of safety.
They're putting on a good show. Well, I walked in the door and told them what I wanted. They said, "Okay, go wash your hands and sit down." I was like, "Was this third grade? Did I just regress that far?"
Yeah. What am I going
So-
to be finger banging
Right.
you during
So
this? I mean,
absolutely.
are you going to be like, legs around my neck, one leg around each,
Yeah.
side while you're down there doing my toenail? I don't understand.
Yeah, I
that.
mean, this place looked too nice to have the hell happy ending option, but
Right, exactly. Maybe that's what the shield is for. It's like, you know what, you provide your own happy ending, and here's the
it's clear.
Dick Sneeze shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want to watch.
Oh, okay.
They're
Yeah.
not fucking prudes. So, yeah, but you know what?
Go in there and just whitewash their acrylic.
Just go in there with your shorts and just have it peeking out. Just the head of it peeking out.
And just so that the gal that's working on your feet can see.
Yeah, exactly. And
She's just winking at you.
Yeah,
just winking at you.
and just see what her reaction is, and she looks like she's cool with it. Pull it out for full wank. That's what I say,
Right.
and while she does your toes. And, I think
She handles the bottom 10, you handle the middle one.
and there you go. That's right. And would it kill her to pop her tits out while she does it?
Absolutely.
I mean, look, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but a lot of these shops are Asian ran, and so you may be dealing with some A cups, but as I've said before, there's no such thing as a bad titty,
No. Okay,
I
so
enjoy 'em.
I heard a new phrase the other day.
Okay.
Titty tats.
Titty tats.
Girls that have tats on their tits.
Right.
Titty tats. But it sounds like the little yellow bird from Looney Tunes.
Titty. I taught titty tat. We're gonna have to use that.
What was the little bird's name? I can't
Tweety.
even. Tweety bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that little motherfucker, a big-headed motherfucker.
Yeah. I did saw a titty tat.
Yeah. And, Sylvester was always trying to swallow his ass,
Right.
The thing is, do you see the size of that fucking bird's head? That was a good meal right there.
Absolutely.
You can't blame the cat for doing what comes naturally to fucking cats.
No.
So, yeah, I don't know. But I'd like to add, I saw your toes, and I thought they looked lovely.
Well, thank you.
And, they're definitely presentable for summer. When you see there's
the calloused corn chip.
Tell them like what you'd said about, who had said, if they don't take care of their toes.
Well, yeah, there's one of my former in-laws mentioned that if a girl won't take care of her toes, she's not taking care of her snatch either.
Yeah.
And
you kind of got to wonder if it looks like she's got on corn chips on the end of her toes, she's probably not cleaning the cootie woo real well.
It's not manicured.
Yeah.
It's running wild.
Yeah. It looks like a hobo yawning when she spreads her legs. Just kind of a big gaping maw. And, but I'd like to say that my Janie has beautiful toes, and she keeps them very nice. In fact, the color she has on them right now, she said she didn't like, but I found it quite pleasing to the eye.
But see, here's the problem. It doesn't matter what we think.
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
That's not for us.
Makeup has become an arms race ever since the first thing that any woman did to make herself look prettier than the other women around.
Yeah,
it instantly turned into a multi-century arms race to see who could come up with the best, most interesting.
Yes, and the products they have now and the techniques are amazing.
They've got entire stores dedicated.
Yes.
And we're not talking about stores in the strip mall. We're talking about freestanding buildings the size of what used to be, small Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's I saw a TikTok of a woman that had no teeth. None. She has upper and lowers, partials,
right,
or full sets of dentures, and she really she had on no makeup, and she kind of looked like maybe she had a little problem with meth once upon a time. I don't want to say for sure, but so she starts doing her makeup and her contouring and puts in her teeth and does this wig, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, that's false advertising.
That is false advertising. Yeah.
In the animal world, it's the male that has the colorful plumage and puts on a show. He has to compete for the right to mate with this drab ass looking bird.
Right.
I mean, we've all seen a male cardinal, beautiful red and just wonderful. And the female, she kind of has a little orangey beak, but kind of a mottled color. Everyone thinks a peacock is beautiful, but a peahen is just plain looking. Fuck that hen.
Right.
And so humans are the only animal, I think, where the women have the flash and the color to attract a mate or attract another man, whereas a man, whereas in the animal world it's just the opposite. But I don't think they're trying to attract men. Like you said, it's for them.
It's to compete with the other women.
Yeah, and plus if it makes you feel good about yourself, great. Manicures, pedicures, whatever it is.
Massage.
Boob jobs. I found that's not for men. It's really for them.
Unless they're working for a living.
Exactly. And,
working their way through college.
And then they can, write that off as a business expense. But it's really for, to make them feel better, but I got to tell you, man is responsible for a lot of the things and surgeries and procedures and stuff and cosmetic procedures and stuff that women get. Women have done their part and all that, but a lot of these procedures were created by men, yet they still haven't fucking found a way to lengthen the penis successfully.
Well, if they can transplant somebody's face, why can't they do a penis transplant?
Right, exactly. There's a lot of men that's coming to the end of their lives that are hung like fucking Shetlands, and I personally would like their old freckled dick.
And in fact, if we needed to, piece them together.
Exactly, Frankendick.
Yeah.
And people are like, man, your dick is a lot of different colors. Yep. All the shades of your mom's lipstick.
I wouldn't care if it was a calico cat looking thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
I tell you what, if somebody's paying that close of attention, we're probably not in bed together anyway.
I'm telling you, I just don't want one of those things where, sunflower syndrome, where the stalk isn't strong enough to hold up the giant head.
Right. You don't want that.
You don't want it leaning over or anything. But yeah, the first surgeon that comes up with that says, yes, I can successfully lengthen your penis. I feel sorry for every woman in the world, especially if the surgery is affordable, because we're all going to be bumping the fuck out of your cervix. I guarantee you with regularity. You will not be able to get away from it. It's going to be unpleasant. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but I got to tell you, if I had a 12-inch dick soft, I probably would just hang out at locker rooms to intimidate other motherfuckers.
Absolutely.
I'd have like 12 gym memberships and just be in there constantly with my leg up on the bench, toweling off, letting the old boys swing, and this big giant billy club of a cock. Yeah, I would. That's what I'd do with it.
And then try to get arrested on purpose. Because you want to go to jail with that.
Exactly. You want that to be Exhibit A.
Right.
For the courtroom to say, Exhibit A is, we can prove it was this man because the witness says that his penis is massive.
Yeah.
And here's a photo. And the whole jury would be like, and then later, whether you're guilty or acquitted,
there'd be one member of that jury that
you bet
acquit you just because.
Yeah.
She's a horny old gal.
Yeah. And you'd get some dates out of it.
Absolutely.
In fact, maybe the court
or
clerk,
the judge.
Yeah. And that'd be great, and especially if you don't have anal warts, it makes it hard to pick up people if you have lots of anal.
Yeah, those are only for the married folks.
Yeah. I don't. Nobody wants to eat ass if you've got metal, or anal warts. Metal warts.
Yeah,
metal anal warts.
Yeah, he's gonna have to wait for the sutures to come out before.
Oh yeah, gosh. Yeah.
Before that ever happens again.
Exactly. Right now, it looks like a stitching around the drawstring of a bag or something. How you tighten it and stuff. That's probably what that looks like.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know he's really enjoying us staying on the subject. And
it's not staying on it. We're just coming back around occasionally.
You bet, Brian. We're doing exactly the way you'd want us to, and we're happy. So
okay. So we were talking about, male members and large and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's paying for porn anymore?
God, I hope nobody.
Okay.
Do they still make print porn magazines?
I don't know.
I mean, you used to have the big section in the store,
Well, used to, you drive down I-35, and as soon as you cross the state line into Texas, you hang a hard right-hand turn, and there's a DW's Porn Palace or something like that there on the...
Yeah.
I mean, it was on the bank of the Red River.
Absolutely.
And just as soon as you claim that you were across the state line where it was now legal.
Yeah.
It was readily available. All the videos, VHS tapes, DVDs.
And the one further up, was the bigger one, and it had all the truckers and shit, and then couples coming in late at night so she can come in there with no panties and squat down and kind of show it off. Really, really throwing some ideas out here, baby. And so,
they bulldozed it.
And did they?
Yep. KT's?
Yeah.
Yep. It has been bulldozed. It actually made the newspaper, and I don't remember which one, but they were talking about it. The landmark of
I'll be damned.
North I-35 is no more.
Just the internet porn just took care of it. So
okay. I'm still, because you watch some of those clips. They're anywhere from 3 or 4 minutes to 12, 15 minutes, maybe half an hour.
Sure, I've never watched one past 35 seconds.
Okay, I told somebody one time they were as insignificant as the closing credits of a porn flick.
Exactly.
And they looked at me like I'm funny because it took them a minute to figure it out. I was like, has anybody ever seen the closing credits of a porn flick?
Yeah, who did the choreography?
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I want to see who did the musical score on that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's nasty. So, yeah.
Who decorated that motel room? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. That's lovely.
Because you want to know who matched up those couch pillows with the drapes and the
and who's the poor son bitch that has to try to hit up companies to see if they can get an endorsement for product placement. Right. I mean, Coca-Cola really don't want their shit in there in the scene.
Well, it's more like non-product placement. They're paying money to not have their products in frame.
Say, look, man, we're gonna have a big tube of lube and a giant dong, realistic with veins.
Yep.
And right behind them, to your product.
Right behind them, there's going to be an entire rack of Coca-Cola 2-liter bottles that are on sale for 98 cents.
Right.
So we can either leave that in the frame to help promote you, or for a little bit of hush money, we'll just move that off to the right. Your choice.
You know, who you want to hit up is Chick-fil-A.
Absolutely.
You know, they're going to shit. You know, they're like, man, a big old bag of Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Well,
Absolutely.
you know.
The bag of burgers placed in prominent. Well, no, that's Brahms.
Yeah,
Brahms is the bag of burgers.
Yeah. Brahms probably doesn't want us to.
You could get the chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A.
That's right.
You can put the Chick-fil-A biscuit on her biscuit and
exactly. Drizzle Polynesian sauce
all over that.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Call that breakfast.
You bet. And so, you know, yeah, product placement, that's a big one. Getting money to not put products in there. I believe that's called extortion, but you know, I wonder if that works. So
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that.
I don't know either.
I wonder if there's any movie that's ever been so bad that people that had paid for product placement came back later and said, yeah, y'all got to CGI that out because we don't want any part of this.
I guarantee you, if there was, it was the movie The Dolomite made.
Yeah. I'm not familiar.
Oh my God. Eddie Murphy did the remake, you know, Dolomite, you know, Rudy, whatever his name is, you know, he was a comedian and he did this horrible blaxploitation movie that was like nobody, I mean, it was cheesy and all this and nobody wanted to really fuck with it. And finally somebody took it on and it became a cult classic, man. I mean, it blew up.
Really?
Yeah. You'll have to look up Dolomite. Okay. He was some raunchy shit. So yeah, it was a good time. So
okay,
imagine any products that were in there. Someone's get that shit out of there.
Right. You know? Yeah, it's not going to DVD with our stuff on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad enough that it was actually in the theaters.
Yeah, I don't think it made it to beta, but you know,
yeah,
somewhere you can probably find a DVD of it or something online.
So speaking of bad movies, I saw one last night that I actually enjoyed.
Really?
And it's the reason I'm surprised I enjoyed it is because it starred Nicolas Cage.
Okay, I like Nicolas Cage. He's batshit crazy, but I like him.
Well, I'm not sure if I like him, but it seems like most of the things that he's in are shit movies.
They are now. You know, for a while he had that sweet spot.
Yep.
You know, in the 90s, man, he was hot as a star, man. He really was.
And he did that movie where he's like this wizard or something like that.
Yeah, like this Sorcerer's Apprentice thing, which I actually kind of like that movie. And
I saw part of it. Something happened that interrupted me from being able to watch it all.
Yeah, I liked it. It was, you know, at one point he owned an island. I think he sold off and stuff. I mean, so now his movies just aren't, you know.
And did he buy like Michael Jackson's monkey or something like that? Wasn't there something really weird that he bought? I
don't know. Let's see. Brian says he's broken
paying bills.
You know, well, fuck, that's all of us, you know. But yeah, so's Bill Cosby right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so. All right, I saw something the other day it was a cartoon. It was about people were praying for Britney Spears to get released from her conservatorship.
Right.
And the message that came down from on high is, we can't do Britney. The best we can do is free Bill Cosby.
Yeah. There you go. That's what you get. Yeah. So what was this movie that okay, because I'm not sure what new movie Nicolas Cage is in.
It just came out. I've been going to the movies regularly since the theaters opened back up, and I've seen every single movie that has been released since the theater opened back up. So I've seen every preview that has been in those movies, and I've never seen this preview until the night before it actually premiered. And the name of the movie is called simply Pig.
In a world where, okay, Pig. So what in the is this about?
He is a vagrant truffle pig hunter out in the middle of Oregon, in the woods of Oregon, right, with his trusty truffle pig. And apparently there's a truffle pig market, and he goes and digs up truffles,
right,
and sells them to the market. Well,
sure,
somebody
truffles are expensive. They're more expensive than gold.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually did
depending on the good quality.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, white truffles are going for like $3,000 a pound or something like that. Yeah, it's stupid.
A lot of money for fungus.
A lot of money for fungus. But the interesting thing was there's like a competition going on, and so one of the truffle distributors decided to steal Nicolas Cage's pig.
That motherfucker.
To keep Nicolas Cage from bringing truffles to market and to use the pig for his own purposes. And so then the hunt was on for the pig.
Some vengeance and stuff.
Vengeance for the pig.
It was like John Wick, but except it's about a fucking pig.
It's a pig. It wasn't about a puppy.
Yeah.
So it loses a little bit at the beginning,
Yeah.
but it was really a good show.
So you see the pig at some point, right?
Oh yeah, it's the pig's prominently displayed in the movie. In fact, I think the pig sleeps in the cabin with him out there in the middle of the woods.
Did the pig get top billing in this film, or did Nick Cage?
I think Nicolas Cage did, but I think the pig was the bottom.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Nicolas Cage and the pig. Yeah, that's that's awesome. So did he get his? Well, no, don't spoil it.
I'm not going to say
spoil
anything
this
else about the plot.
But he's looking for vengeance since somebody stole his swine and
he's got to get his pig back so he can start making his money.
Yeah. Well, pigs have this amazing sense of smell. Their sight isn't that great. That's not much better than ours, but they do have a fantastic nose. So I guess it just evolved into that. But there's dogs that have a great nose too, but maybe they don't like the fucking truffles. I know that the pigs will eat the truffles if you don't pull them back once they find it. Yeah.
Well, I did some research after I saw the movie because I was intrigued about the whole truffle process, and everybody else is training dogs to find the truffles. Right.
It has to be now. That was a Europe thing, I think, once upon a time. Some French truffle pig or something like that. But yeah, give me a good scent hound any day.
Right.
And you don't see many corpse pigs, going through rubble looking for,
right. You don't cadaver pigs.
Yeah, cadaver pigs.
Well, they do hunt through the rubble, but they're not there for finding the survivors.
Right.
They're there cleaning up the mess.
It's like, we found them, but the pig found them first, and now there's just teeth. Left.
And they're eating through Brian's anal warts.
Exactly. Medical waste pigs. It's just, it's the eco-friendly thing. We feed them, you can't eat the pig because God knows what it has, but you can ship it to China.
Yep.
And
they'll eat anything.
And China is, I think, the largest consumer of pork in the world.
If they'll eat chicken feet,
then by God, a diseased pig ain't no problem.
Right. They'll just wash that down with some gravy.
You bet. Or a pangolin.
Right.
Or some bat soup or something. Yeah. That's racist as fuck.
More nationalist.
Yeah, exactly. Brian was like, cop? Trying to guess Nicolas Cage's role. He's like, oh, I was way off. You think?
Yeah, the other was way off. And come to find out, I will say one thing. Nicolas Cage, the reason he's out in the camp is because he's a former restaurant worker. So instead of being like Anthony Bourdain and just taking yourself out of the equation, he decided to just run off to the woods with a pig.
Or else going like, what's his name? Andrew Zimmern, and deciding I'll just eat a bunch of disgusting, gross shit and make a career of it.
Right.
He's a true success story. You never see him drink alcohol or anything. He's a recovering addict and alcoholic.
Oh.
And I mean, he crashed bad. He had a horrible thing. I mean, really embarrassing. They sent the man to rehab. He changed his life around and made another comeback. I mean, but that comeback includes eating disgusting things.
Yeah.
And hats off to the man. The man's got an iron stomach.
Right. And then you got, what's his name? The blonde guy with the Mustang.
Oh, yeah. You mean
Ferrari.
Yeah, Guy Fieri. Yeah.
And he's just on the food challenge. He's just trying to, clog one artery at a time at every place he stops.
And say, rude, sexist thing to women and women's staff and stuff, from what I understand. Some sources said he's a douche, but you know what? He's done a lot of good things. I mean, charitable things too.
Well, not only that, but just imagine the publicity these little local restaurants get from having him be on their TV show, and that broadcast out worldwide, so anybody that's traveling by within 50 miles can take a detour to that place that would have never shopped there before.
Exactly. It's a draw, and I wonder if sometimes he's with his lady and she's like, hey, why don't you hop on this train to Flavortown? Motions for him. When you going down right here?
Yeah, Flavortown.
So, yeah, he's just a little too enthusiastic.
Well, if it's too flavorful, she needs to go wash the damn thing before he tries anything.
Like, okay, I'm tasting garlic, some other bitter spices, truffles. Fucking Yeah, he's definitely the he's somebody that would refer to you as Broham or something.
Right.
Hey, Broham.
Yeah.
Hey, broski. Yeah.
Well, there's a comedian, and I wish I could pull him up, but he does an entire bit about why is everybody taking a shit on Guy Fieri? I mean, he's out there just
What the fuck did Guy Fieri?
Yeah,
I've heard that.
yeah.
What the fuck did he do to you? And then he ends with and leave Carrot Top alone. What the fuck did Carrot Top do?
Carrot Top.
Man,
I'm not saying anything bad about the guy, but he looks like he could be a little methy.
Carrot Top needs to stay away from the goddamn cosmetic surgery.
Is that what it is?
Oh, it was horrible.
Okay.
They fucked him up. And, he's a great prop comedian. He
Right.
really was.
But growing up looking like the girl from Wendy's.
Yeah, but goddamn, he had his own thing. And now he just looks like a fucking train wreck.
Well, if I remember correctly, the last time I was out in Vegas at the Luxor, he was in residency there doing his show.
Right.
I think he is still there. And if I remember correctly, that was at least 12 years ago.
You bet. And you know what though? Shit, getting an in-house gig at Vegas.
Yeah,
man. Brittany was in Vegas. She had an in-house gig. I don't know.
Well,
if she
Elton
still
John was in
does.
Vegas too.
Fuck yeah, I mean,
Celine Dion.
Look at Liberace while he was there. Siegfried and Roy. Of course, Vegas made them. I mean, but still,
Wayne Newton.
yeah. I mean, think about that. That's you get an in-house gig,
right?
Man, you're set.
Right, because you're basically doing the tour, but you don't have to travel.
That's it, man.
You just go into the day job 3 or 4 hours out of the week, and or 3 or 4 hours a day.
That's it. And
doing a show.
And these
calling
casinos
it
are
quits.
going to make sure they got something for everybody.
Right. And they're filling every seat too.
Yeah.
They've got ticket boxes up and down the strip that if they don't sell all of their shows at full price, they turn them over to these guys at noon on the day of the show, and it is half price tickets, and people are just lined up to be at whatever show
you
will let them in.
I mean, I'm sure they're always looking for the latest, greatest act. It was like that little girl from Oklahoma that won that talent bullshit for the
Carrie Underwood.
No, the ventriloquism thing. I think she got a gig out of Vegas, and I'm waiting for the ham boning, in-house act.
Ham boning.
You know what ham boning is?
No, but it sounds like something that Brian went through before he needed surgery for it.
Ham boning is it literally is like an Appalachian thing. It's ham boning is defined as the bone of a ham, or a style of dance that involves stomping and slapping your body.
Oh, and that wasn't anything like what I thought they were going to come back with.
Yeah, let me tell you. There's let's see if I can find a ham bone tutorial here. At least just to see what's going on, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Ham boning.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he's sitting there slapping himself in different ways. Him and his brother, Ham Bone Brothers tutorial.
Oh, that didn't even sound good. Oh,
and it usually comes along with some some kind of weird
beatbox, kind of like
some kind of Appalachian, ham boning. So I'm waiting for that show up in Vegas.
How bored were they some Sunday afternoon that they'd already reached the maximum jerk off potential, and then said, okay, we can't do that anymore. Let's just slap ourselves until something entertains us.
Yeah, you can only bone your cousin for so long before, or your sister, before you get bored and say, what say we come up with a new dance and a vocal thing? It's like the Appalachian version of scat, but it's golly, I don't know what's with those guys. But ham boning.
Wow. That is.
Yeah, I want to see that in Vegas because I'll buy tickets to that. And I don't know, is that whose phone is? Someone's phone is going off. It might be mine, and it might be Brian frantically trying to have it. Wait. He's changed the At the Bar podcast thing. It says 2 old men that like to snoodle.
Okay, now snoodling is different than canoodling, right?
Yeah, snoodling is where 2 men go pecker to peckerhead.
Uncircumcised, right?
Yeah, preferably, you know, and one of them slides his foreskin over the
other one, right?
And then you kind of hold it in place, and then y'all just go back and forth, snoodling.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're circumcised, like a lot of us are,
we didn't have any choice in the matter.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you just take a piece of pork fat or something, wrap it around.
Bacon snoodling.
Bacon snoodling. Yeah, you damn right. And if you do it fast enough, it cooks the bacon. So
who don't like a good pork skin?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sounds like a good night to me. And best of all,
absolutely
no anal warts.
Okay, so I'm sure Brian's a little embarrassed about what we were discussing earlier.
Yeah,
he seems to be. Have you ever heard of vicarious embarrassment?
Like where you're embarrassed for somebody.
Right. Like you're watching a movie and one of the characters does something, you know, well,
and it's so cringy,
and you're just like, oh, and you feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Okay. That is called vicarious embarrassment.
Really?
And they actually use that as a gauge to determine how well your social skills have adapted in life, because that is a cue to let professionals know whether you're normal or not.
I'll be damned. Which that's a hell of a thing to find normal. You know, that's kind of a subjective thing, I guess.
Yeah, but if somebody's doing something on screen that the majority of the population would go, oh God, that is and somebody else is like going, yes, yeah. That would probably be a red flag indicator.
Sure,
so
sure.
you know,
or a comedian bombs so hard on stage, it's just like,
oh
God, you just you can feel the embarrassment for him. Yeah,
right.
Vicarious embarrassment. I'm going to name my autobiography that.
Vicarious embarrassment. They also call it secondhand embarrassment, which kind of makes sense, because you're not embarrassed because of something you did. You're embarrassed for somebody else.
Or heckler's delight. You suck.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. So yeah. If anybody out there is experiencing vicarious embarrassment,
call in. We'll help you through that.
Yeah, call in. Let us know.
We're not trained professionals, but
you bet. But
most of the ones that claim to be trained professionals really aren't.
Yeah, exactly. So we may not be good at it, but we're going to do it. So.
Well, it's kind of like gynecology. I'm not an OBGYN, but I'll give it a look.
Yeah, I'll take a peek at
it.
You know, I mean, I'll tell you, something's off. You know, I don't know what it is, but something's off about it. Or I'll tell you it's spot on and give it the kiss of approval. There you go. Here's your clean bill of health.
Then be off with you.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm solo this week, just kind of stumbling around, just me and the dog. And he is literally so spoiled. I call him, Lord Fauntleroy.
Really?
He got stung by a bee again. And I never heard him yelp, but I just happened to walk in the living room and the patio doors were open because it was still early. I like, the nice, cool morning air. And he's literally limping / crawling,
because of a bee sting.
Yeah, on his foot. And which he's been stung on the foot before, but as soon as he sees me, he starts whining and he collapses halfway in the door. And I'm like, oh God, Hank, what's wrong? And run over there, like the doting mother that I am. And he pisses on himself. He starts peeing on himself and he's whining. And I was like, okay, just lay there, honey. It's okay. Because I thought, okay, he's been stung because he's favoring his right paw. So I go get a rag and I clean him up and stuff. And I scoop him up and put him on his chair / bed and all that. And I'm trying to look at the paw and he's real favoring it. And oh, poor me. And trying to find the stinger, So I keep looking and everything. And he's just soaking it up. And then about an hour later, he's running around like nothing's fine, but yet he still wants to be up in my lap.
Right.
And just, oh, poor me. And I'm like, my God, you're a pussy. I have made that dog into the biggest pussy, but you know what? I like it. He's all right.
Well, okay. It's kind of like grandkids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at this stage in your life, you're treating him like you would a grandkid. He's not like a dog that you would have picked up in your 20s and 30s.
Yeah. You'd have been like, walk it off, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, you still have a foot. I don't see a giant thorn in it. Don't fuck with the bees. But I think he was out there in the yard and stepped on one, Yeah. And as sometimes he does, because he's smart enough to stay away from that hive. He knows they will fuck you up. And so he just knows. He gives it clear berth. Occasionally he gets close to it. So take a poop just to let him know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all smell this.
Right. I do the same thing.
What kind of flower is that? Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Come pollinate this.
Yeah, Hank's kind of a dick.
No, Hank's a sweet baby.
He is. He's a good boy, but man, he played it up all day.
Right.
Used it as an excuse for treats, you know. I mean, just whatever. Anytime I'd come near him, I'd be like, "Did that mean old B get you?" And he'd lay there like he was just so injured. And I thought, "Dear Lord."
Oh, that is awesome.
It's ridiculous. You know, so that's about it in my world. There ain't been nothing real exciting except, you know, I'd like to add, you know what? The weather hasn't been too awful bad.
Now we're rolling into the end of July, and we've hit 90, 91 a couple of times.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
And then towards the end of the week, it's going to be down in the mid 80s for the highs. And
yeah, this has been a really
we haven't hit August yet.
That's true. So far, it's been mild.
you remember
and tornadoes have been very low? You know.
Would you remember back when we were in grade school? There was no air conditioning.
Yeah.
And those windows just sucked.
Oh, yes.
And if they opened at all,
yeah.
And we might
one
have a fan
in the class. Yeah.
And it was humming so loud you couldn't hear the teacher talk whenever it was whirling in your direction.
Absolutely, I remember it well.
And we had heat. The summers that were so hot that they would augment the school hours to either start early, to let out early, so we wouldn't be there what they claimed to be heat of the day. So instead of us getting out at 3:30 in the afternoon, they let us out at like 2:00.
Yeah, I do remember, and God, that seems like such the dark ages or something,
right.
You know. But I remember when they put all those window units
right.
in the junior high.
Right.
It started as like, shit, we're shitting in tall cotton now.
Well, I think by the time we were in sixth grade, we actually had air conditioning in the grade school, right?
I can't remember if we had air conditioning in sixth grade or not. I don't remember it, but I do remember specifically those units at the junior high.
Those were Frederick units.
Yes.
The 28.8 BTU or 2-ton, basically 2-ton window, the biggest, baddest window units you could buy.
Pretty damn good window unit for the class, and God, don't you know that electric bill was insane for those?
Well, have you ever stayed at a hotel that didn't have air conditioning?
Oh no.
Okay, I was in San Francisco a couple of times, and the hotel's right on the coast, no air conditioning.
Right.
But they still charge the same rate as if you had air conditioning.
Sure.
Well, something about air conditioning, they didn't have heating either. It was no air conditioning, no heating. And I was like, what the hell are you actually paying for? Because you're not using any electricity. They've got LED bulbs in there. The maximum you're burning off is 20 watts
well, that's
at
like,
any given time.
That's like Florida. I mean, what the hell? You know, they don't need, you're not going to sell a bunch of gas furnaces in Florida. Everybody in Florida ought to own a heat pump. If it ever gets cold enough, boom, your heat pump will handle it. But you sure as hell don't need a gas furnace down there.
Well, it's not the heat, it's the humidity that'll get your ass in Florida.
Oh, absolutely. The humidity. Yeah. I mean, your air conditioning is doing what's called latent cooling all the damn time. So, you know, and whereas you go to Arizona, man, an evaporative cooler will do the job. You know, out in the desert, you know, because the humidity's so low. And I absolutely remember not having air conditioning.
Right. And it was just miserable.
It sucked balls. And, you know, and Dad would be like, go outside and play. Motherfucker, it's 110. You know, and drink out of the hose. You know, that hot ass hose has been in the sun. It tastes like, you know, rubber, but you know, by God, you did it. And if the neighbors had a pool, you know, up the street or something, oh shit, you were, you know,
or a slip and slide.
Oh my God, yes. You fucking be out there spraying yourself down with a garden hose and then get in trouble for making a fucking mud puddle in the yard. You know, so and Dad we didn't have air conditioning, and he had a car that, you know, was a late model car that had air conditioning that worked just fine, and he wouldn't fucking use it.
Wouldn't even turn it on.
Never. Just roll the windows down.
I would have figured out a way to fire up the car and run a duct from the car into my bedroom window.
He caught you running that air conditioning, he's on your ass, you know, waste gas, you know. And then it's amazing that my junior year, he bought a house and it had central air.
Was that the one over off of Harmon?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wouldn't hardly use it.
I didn't realize that it was your junior year till you actually started living there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he wouldn't use it. And then my senior year, he started using a little bit during the summer. After I moved out.
Every day.
God damn, he always using air conditioning.
You go in there, you can hang meat.
In his car, everything. I'm like, did you just not like me, motherfucker? What the fuck did I do here? You know, I mean, but yeah, so, I mean, he just, he just, I don't know. He was born in a different time.
Right.
They didn't have air conditioning growing up, I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Well, I remember my dad, he was like that with sports. He never liked sports, didn't have any use for them at all.
Yeah.
But later in life, after I was already grown, I was in my 30s, go over to his house, he's sitting there watching an OU game.
Yeah.
He got to the point that he was watching reruns of games that happened in years gone by that he didn't realize were reruns. And I failed to bet money on those games with him because I could have easily looked up the score on the internet.
And say, I got you on this one.
I'd have won twice. I'd have won as they were playing it back and the replay.
Dad was the opposite. Like football.
Yeah.
I mean, before I was born, him, my brothers and all that stuff, they would watch the game and all this other stuff. And in fact, I took my first step in front of my dad while he was watching a game. And he was sitting right in front of that small ass TV,
Right, the 25-inch console?
Yeah, and but I was hanging on to the edge or whatever, and my mom's sitting kind of rocking back and forth, and I let go and took my first couple of steps right in front of him. He said, "Get out of the way, son," and pushed me down. And she's like, "He just walked, Oh, sorry, he didn't give a fuck, but I'm thinking,
well, way to
yeah, and then
temper your
exactly
accomplishment right there from the very beginning.
Yeah, thanks, Pop. Right at the beginning, and as he got older, man, I never saw him. I never watched a football game with him. He had no interest in football, anything. The one thing he always had interest in was boxing. Dad loved to see two motherfuckers beat on each other.
Really?
Oh man, he was a boxing fan.
I can't remember a boxing match ever being broadcast in my home the entire time I was growing up.
I can remember watching them, and of course, Dad, we didn't have cable or nothing like that, or VCR or fucking microwave.
So you got ABC Sunday afternoon before the Disney movie,
right? Or
but it was the wide world of sports.
And we'd go to a family members, with cable that would get pay-per-views or whatever, and then
did they even have pay-per-views back then?
And well, it was it was after after I moved out, and then he eventually got cable, and then, but I can remember going for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them was a Tyson fight. It was the Tyson, I think Douglas, Buster fucking Douglas, where he knocked his ass down, which was bullshit, and won the championship.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I remember, my friends that had cable, had that long control box with the slider.
With a 50-foot cord. It was the remote control, but it was on a 50-foot cord.
Yeah, that was awesome. So
that universal tan.
Yeah. And so, Dad didn't have none of that shit till I moved out. And then all of a sudden he decided to come in the 20th century.
Guys come up with everything.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? So...
Well, people's interests change over time.
Yeah, they do, but I mean, boxing was his gig, man. He loved it. And he wasn't afraid to throw a right fucking cross at you either. So, there's always that. But,
okay. Have you ever been to Red Robin Hamburgers?
Yes, I have. They're
what do
supposed
you
to have
think?
endless fries.
Have you ever been offered endless fries at Red Robin?
Yeah.
I have not. I've been there a handful of times. And I'd order a burger and fries, and at no point in the entire meal did anybody come by and look at me in my size and go, "Need another handful of fries?" It never happened.
Damn, I wonder if they've changed their policy.
No. It's still the same. In fact, they've advertised it, but I looked at their menu the other day because I got some kind of ad that popped up, wanted me to check them out. Some kind of new burger they've got. They've now got burgers that are in excess of $14.
Yeah, god dang.
For a burger.
That's ridiculous.
That
burger better come with a fucking hand job.
It don't.
Fuck.
I don't even think it comes with the pickle spear. I think that's just for the burger.
I'll tell you what, at that price, them some bitches going to be bringing me endless fries till the cows come home. I will founder myself on fucking on endless
In fact,
fries.
I want to show up there with my own bucket of the Rico's nacho cheese, like you put nachos, because I want some cheese fries, and I just want to have a ladle sitting in that. Yeah. So every time they bring me a basket of fries, I just dip in that ladle. And
what you need is the little flexible bag that you have under your shirt, and it has the tube that comes out right here by your wrist. With the little the pinch flow, and you just kind of squeeze and cheese out some stuff. And also they serve their fries, or they used to, in the little metal cone, the little wire cone with the, if you throw that metal cone, I find that it gets their attention pretty fucking quick.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I've never tried that.
They had like a strawberry lemonade that was pretty good too, I think. So, but yeah, I've had their burgers before. They were great, but it wasn't life changing.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I've ever had a life-changing burger and what the price was associated with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I mean, I can make a pretty good burger.
You damn right.
And
Those are damn good burgers.
And my favorite, I guess, would probably be In-N-Out.
Yes.
For a fast food burger.
Oh God, yes.
And
Absolutely.
okay,
fine.
if you give me a chain that the only thing that they do is burgers, fries, shakes, soft drinks. That's the only thing on their entire menu.
That's it.
And they've been able to expand across the country. They've got to be doing something right.
Something right. I agree. And if you notice, they have staff in their restaurants, man. I mean, they've got their own thing going.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I'd like to add about Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah.
You may not like their religion, you may not like their politics, but I'll tell you what, Chick-fil-A knows how to run a fucking business.
Well, the fact that they've got two people outside taking orders in the drive-thru before you ever touch the menu screen. You got your order in, it's paid for, everything, and they're just handing out sacks out of the window like gangbusters.
I'll tell you what, it'll literally, the line will wrap around and go all the way to the road, to that one that's in the city,
Right.
So, and that's like every day. And they'll have two lines of cars that way. And you know what? I'll wait less time at the end of that line till I have my food than I will at McD's right there at 29th and Douglas when there's one car ahead of me.
Right.
It's bullshit. So I got to tell you, that is the worst McDonald's, I think, in the area. But Chick-fil-A, let me tell you who they should have put in charge of the vaccine distribution. It was Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, the operating manager of Chick-fil-A.
You bet. So I like their system. They get after it, and they have plenty of staff. And if you notice, they're polite.
Oh, but anytime you say, thank you or something, it's my pleasure.
Yeah.
Everything sentence they end with is my pleasure. And I mean, I guess that was okay whenever it was new, but at this point in time, I know it's forced. It's what they're trained to say every single time. And so at that point in time, it's no longer genuine. Yeah,
but I've never had someone say it in a way that it was just sound like they didn't want to say it. Try, since it's part of the greeting, but what a nice way to do things corporate instead of, you order at McDonald's and they just tell you your order and pull forward. You give them the money and they just talk to you like, they don't even talk to you.
Okay, so look at this monstrosity up on screen.
Holy shit, the Scorpion Gourmet Burger. What in the hell is in this thing? So, God, it's got scorpion pepper sauce.
Yeah, and it's got fried jalapenos, and it's got, like I said, fried grilled beef.
Yeah, jalapenos roasted in scorpion sauce.
Yeah. Roasted garlic aioli, which means mayonnaise flavored.
Yeah, flavored mayonnaise.
On a sesame seed bun.
It looks good. Does it look $14 good?
No.
No.
But that's, that's on par for most of their...
I think you need to make a scorpion burger.
Oh.
That pineapple chili margarita. That looks pretty good too. So
I bet that's at least a $5 or $6 drink.
Oh, guaranteed, man. Drinks are where they get you at. God, that was an old person thing to say.
And I'm doing double duty here, so trying to work the controls. And
Janie said that would just melt the anal warts right off.
It should.
There you go. I mean,
well, they're not even giving you a price for this one, so who knows how much it's going to run?
Right? This thing, good God, and one of those like potachos or whatever, you know, S&B started out really good, and had some good burger choices, and they kind of pared it down, and man, I got disappointed with S&B.
Yeah,
But
there's another $14 burger, $13.79.
The Monster Burger. 2 gourmet patties, your choice of cheese, big deal. Red onion.
Lettuce, tomato, pickles, and onion.
What the fuck? It's just a double burger.
Double burger.
What is it?
$14. It better weigh 3 pounds is what it better weigh.
You damn right. You better come with a waitress with a short skirt, no panties, and has to bend over a lot.
So There's a burger place that I used to, I've been to one time. It's in outside of Boston.
Jenny said Grubhub that to him. Scorpion burger. First, Brian, you're going to want to lay it, even just in the packaging, on your anus for about 5 minutes. Then take it out of the package and eat it, and then you'll see. The ghost pepper burger. That's a scorpion pepper sauce, but they still look good, Bob. I'm not going to lie. Those burgers look good, but they don't look good for that price.
Okay, up in Boston, this place I was at, it's called the Eagles Deli.
Okay. Ooh, that Reuben looks.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Marble rye. Come on. I love a good Reuben.
And they've got breakfast and lunch, dinner too. It's a great little spot. And the interesting thing was they've got these burgers that are named on the wall, and it starts off like a half-pound burger, then it goes to a pound burger, then it's a pound and a half burger. And so basically the challenge is if you can eat the biggest burger that's on their menu plus another patty,
right,
you get to name the damn thing.
Oh, wow.
And it was stupid whenever I was there, and I think it's even gotten more stupid since then because, now the patty, 17 patties on a burger.
Ooh, yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah. No, I got to tell you, man, what about that place that does the whole heart attack gimmick thing?
Oh, that's in Vegas.
Yes.
That is the Heart Attack Grill. And if you weigh more than 350 pounds, you can eat for free.
Wow.
And their gimmick is, they're doing they're frying their fries in animal fat.
You bet.
They have got their shakes are as much milk fat as you can legally put in a shake. I mean, you might as well just be dropping sticks of butter into the cup.
Yeah.
And
hell yeah.
Yep, they call it the Heart Attack Grill. And all the waitresses are dressed up like nurses.
Sexy nurses and stuff. And yeah.
And anybody cooking is dressed up in scrubs.
Yeah, and don't they sell like Lucky Strikes and shit? And
yeah, I think they sell cigarettes. Or they bring around cigarettes to you while you're eating.
Yeah,
and they serve some kind of alcoholic beverage in a large syringe.
I like it. That sounds good. And let's see, Molly Schuler has one at Eagles. You got to explain that to me. I'm not sure what you mean.
Sure. I bet that's a burger. I bet that's probably a burger that they've got. A contest
I think
burger.
Randy Santel has one too. Wow.
See, I'm a pretty big. I'm not a big fan of Randy Santel's, but I've seen some of the work he's done. I was like, my God, if you can put away that much food, you're doing something.
Oh yeah, and Janie says they spank you.
Well, I would hope so.
Exactly.
But they've got a big, huge scale out in front of the place, and you go and you step on the scale before you go in, and if you hit 350,
Jello shot syringes.
If you hit 350, your meal's free.
Yeah. So now you see, right? Now you see why the appeal here. Janie, she's like, oh yeah, I can Jello shot syringes, and she's got the.
Janie, are you a chubby chaser?
She said I'm a big competitive eater buff.
Okay,
I think we know she's a chubby chaser by looking at me. Either that, I tell her all the time. I'm like, man, I sure wish you'd get your eyes checked, baby, and yeah. So that's pretty cool. Okay, Molly Schuler and Randy Santel, they're competitive eaters, and so she likes the competitive eating stuff.
Yep.
That's I just can't stand to see the hot dog thing where they dip the bun in water.
Oh no! I in fact, I think that should be against the rules.
Yeah, it's gross.
If you're not going to eat something like you normally would in a restaurant. Now, I've seen Randy Santel. He'll bring his own big ass spoon into a contest, so that if he's got a quart of baked beans or something to eat, he's not going to eat them a teaspoon at a time.
Sure.
He's grabbing the ladle out of the kitchen, and he's going to town. But if you're dipping your hot dog buns in water, you're not doing that in real life.
Yeah, and that
stop
grosses,
that shit.
That grosses me out. I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Wet bread makes me yak. Yeah.
Okay. What about a French dip sandwich?
It's different.
It is, but it's the same.
Right?
Yeah.
I know, but it's just something about water. It's flavorless water. And this, how it gets all goopy and soggy. But a French dip, whatever. She said
Nathan's.
It's the chest hair. It's not the chubby, baby.
Okay.
It's the chest hair.
At some point in time, we're going to take the chest hair and we are going to manicure it to look like a bikini top, because I understand that that's in fashion now.
It already is. Yeah, they already did that to me.
Well, no, they didn't manicure it right. Janie, we'll get together. We'll work on him before September rolls around.
Okay, so I got to tell you, I have a procedure coming up very soon. And
does it involve anal warts?
no.
Oh, good.
But
That's nasty.
I asked, I've had this procedure done once before, in 2009. And I was surprised when a nurse arrived to shave me that I was not, if they would have told me, I would have shaved that area.
Oh, they don't want you to do that. They want to do it themselves.
And so this beautiful little blonde nurse comes in with a pink razor, and I was mortified.
Yeah.
Just mortified. And she's trying her best to show the privacy. And Janie just said that the Nathan's contest, she said it's more for the Nathan's contest challenges at restaurants. They don't really do it, the hot dog and bun thing, but yeah, so this nurse comes in, she's like, I'm sorry. Because she can tell I'm just mortified. One of the reasons I'm thinking, don't get hard, don't get hard, don't get hard, don't get hard. She's really hot, but also because she's like kind of moving stuff,
See, I went the other way. I'd be hoping that she'd wax my balls while she was there.
No, man, I was mortified. And anyway, I thought, how about we just line me up in front of the OU cheerleaders and they all point and laugh or something. But anyway, so I was talking to the nurse today, about the procedure, and they're running this thing in a different area. And I said, if he has trouble coming in through this vein,
yep,
is he going to go back to my femoral? And she's like, well, he could. And I said, so I should prepare. I told her the whole story, and she laughed. She said, oh my God. She said, that's horrible. She said, yeah, but if you're going to do it a week before, so it's not irritated or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to say, shit, lady, I grow hair like Harambe. But yeah. So she said, no, I think you'll be fine. I thought, this time they're going to send some old chick in. I'll be like, fine. I'll just pull them back behind my ears and go, get the tank. I don't care. So
get the tank.
Yeah. Get it all. Smooth it up for me. And,
well, there's this place a couple miles up the road. I think it's the name of the place is called Waxing the City. I just want to walk in there and say, here's the city.
Yeah.
Wax it all.
Say, look, if it's between my kneecaps and my belly button, I don't want an ounce of hair on it.
Right.
I want it clean as a whistle.
Absolutely.
I understand there's going to be an extra charge for the sheer amount of wax and cloth strips you're going to have to use. But the trauma is your problem to deal with.
Right. If you need to pay for a couch strip, you need to do that on your own. Yeah.
I want my asshole to look like a baby piglet's.
Spit shine.
Just pink and purty as can
Absolutely.
be. And if I have to go get some asshole lightening, some
bleaching, anal bleaching.
Yeah. If I need a little anal bleaching, then so be it. All
right. I've got a question about that.
Okay.
Why?
Because, the skin gets darker, in certain areas. And so some women feel like it's unattractive. They want it to look like a porn model, which is not a realistic representation of any normal woman walking the face of the earth.
Right. But the thing is, it makes a better target.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem. You ain't got to bleach your anal. What if they go too far and it ends up with a white halo around
Right.
it? It's going to look funky. It's like, what is that? Some kind of a weird skin condition, or just concentric white rings around it.
Right.
That'd make a good target too,
Paint it 20, 30, 40, bullseye.
Exactly. You can throw little butt plugs at
right.
it. And that's awesome. Yeah.
Wait.
Maybe
we could make a flying chicken butt plug.
I think that if we're motivated enough, we can turn anything into a butt plug. We just need.
I've seen a door spring butt plug.
Yes, I know. You brought that up, and as a kid,
apparently it works well.
Yeah. So I think you can take any butt plug, and it has the flat disc.
I really don't
on the end.
I'll take your word for it.
and a lot of them do, and then you can attach different things from whether it's an animal tail.
Well, no. From Brian's told me about whenever he's doing the horse play, that he uses a butt plug that's got the horse tail.
You bet.
On it,
so he can wear the
right. So whenever Annie's parading him around, he's got the hoofs.
Yeah, the hoofs and the daddle
in the mane and everything. But his butt plug has got actually a horse tail integrated with
genuine horsehair,
right?
And that's the way to go.
Those are expensive.
Oh, you bet. But it's definitely the way to go. And she'll wash him down with mane and tail,
right.
and brush him down and put a bag of oats on him, and then proceed to lift his tail up and really ride him to town.
Right. Well, at least she did.
until
Right.
you know,
But
the shame and embarrassment of anal.
he'll be back. He'll be back to good in 6 to 8 weeks.
You bet. And
You know, every time I hear 6 to 8 weeks, it takes me back to whenever we were kids, and you'd see things advertised on TV that if you wanted to order it, you had to call an 800 phone number.
yes,
And you would
no
order
CODs,
it, and
Yeah.
it would say, well, they would do CODs,
some
but
of them would. Yeah,
but it'd be an extra $5 if
Yeah.
you wanted that. Apparently, shipping companies made a ton of money off of CODs back in the day.
really.
Like mail carriers and stuff, they would actually collect the money from the people whenever they drop off the packages, and that was a big profit center for the post office.
I'll be damned.
And then, but everything back then was, 6 to 8 6 weeks. Okay, now then we're in the day where you've got Amazon Prime, where you're getting stuff the next day.
You bet.
And now in some urban areas, if they've got the warehouses stocked appropriately, you can get 2 hours shipping. So you just sit on your computer or your phone,
Yeah.
and you say, "I think I want this for dinner," and order it up. And by the time you get home, it's sitting on your front porch, ready
Yeah.
to go in.
Let's say you wanted to order Freedom Rock on 4 8-tracks.
Absolutely,
You-
or Goofy Gold.
Yeah, you got to wait 6 to 8 weeks for delivery. You
Right.
know? And
Well, what they were doing is they were waiting to make sure that check cleared the bank.
yeah, no shit, right? Well, they were waiting to see how many orders they got in that time, so they know how many copies we got to print
Press.
off. Yeah,
Yeah, how many press? Okay. All right, so I ordered a poster frame the other day because I got a gorgeous poster of Harley Quinn,
absolutely. Yeah,
but it came in an odd size, so I had to order the frame for it. It wasn't anything that I could get locally unless I wanted to have it custom made, and that just wasn't going to
yeah,
happen.
it's ridiculous what they want.
Okay, so I found a good deal from Walmart.com.
Right?
So whenever I put it in, it said if you order $10.60 more stuff, shipping is free. Well, shipping was going to cost me $6.
Yeah.
So all I had to do was get $10 more worth of merchandise, and I get free shipping.
Sure. So spend an extra $4 to get
Right.
something. Yeah.
So I needed some extra wood chips for my smoker.
Right.
So I got a couple of bags of those, and then I somehow or another I cracked my ice cream scoop. So I thought, okay, let's get a new ice cream scoop.
Right.
Put them in the cart. It was like $11, which was 40 cents over the exact penny that I needed. So everything's coming shipping for free.
Right.
The next morning, I wake up, I'm in the shower, and I get an alert from my doorbell telling me that somebody's at my front door. Well, I get done with the shower. I figure we've had some of these storms and everything. People are hanging door tags on your door and everything else.
Yeah.
So I get up, I go to the front door. There's a Walmart sack, and it's got 2 bags of wood chips.
I'll be damned.
Okay. I'm like, this is really bizarre. They actually sent a special delivery to somebody to drop off 2 bags of wood, and it was in a Walmart sack. It wasn't like it came off of a freight carrier and
Wow,
they were
that's-
making the rounds. And
Yeah.
Okay, so the next day I get a shipping notice from FedEx alerting me that my ice cream scoop has been shipped, and it'll be arriving the next day.
Wow, man.
So the next day, sure enough, FedEx is dropping an ice cream scoop off at my house.
That's weird. It just doesn't look like they could make any money doing that, you know?
So I still haven't got my my poster frame that I ordered to begin with that started this whole expedition,
Right.
but I've already had 2 shipments delivered here that contain other things that were ancillary to that.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of odd.
So it's supposedly going to arrive tomorrow. We'll see if it actually does. But then I'm just thinking they're making a special Saturday delivery.
Yeah, of wood chips. Yeah.
For free shipping on these 3 products. The three shipments to my house already.
You know what?
I know that
They might have thought, look, I'm sure it's all computerized, and they come out and say, hey, it's going to be cheaper for us to have somebody deliver it from the local Walmart than it is going to be to ship these 2 heavier bags, wood chips,
right,
a couple pounds each.
But the fact is, they actually sent somebody from Walmart to my house for a $4 purchase.
Yeah. And it was probably cheaper than shipping it. And they said, well, shit, we got this in the store. We'll just send it on over.
Yeah.
But still, it's kind of strange, and 2 bags of wood chips.
Yeah.
Guy was thinking, God damn, how bad did this guy need these wood chips?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out this whole delivery service model that we've got these days with the third-party delivers that, all they do is run the delivery operations. They don't even have the merchandise in stock.
Exactly.
And I'm waiting for that to change because I'm thinking at some point in time, somebody's going to say, if we had a warehouse that was centrally located that had a certain number of products that people are constantly ordering from us, if we had those readily available, that would keep our delivery people from having to drive to the store, go shopping, pay for it, then deliver it. If we had it here ready to just grab and go,
sure.
you could have container loads of goods just sitting there ready to.
Well, yeah, and Amazon does, like, on a lot of their certain things.
Yeah.
They stock in these
Right, but they're all regional distribution centers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you can get it so quickly, you know. But yeah, you're right. You'd think, hey, we have this thing, you know, we could be able to do this. I don't know, you know. They have to stay on their toes to keep up with Amazon. Amazon's got it hemmed up on the deliveries.
Well, you know, they started off using the postal service,
Yeah,
and then they started doing postal service, UPS, and FedEx, any place that they could. Whatever worked for them, they'd have deliver. And then they started using private carriers through a flex delivery program.
Yep.
And I think you even did that for a bit.
Brian and I both did the flex thing for a little bit, which was kind of neat. And, you know, it was a pain in the ass, but it was pretty neat. And let me tell you, a lot of those flex positions went out because Amazon was advertising, look, you can start your own delivery business.
Yeah.
And here's what your minimum investment will be, and you can make this much money. Yeah, if you want to work 80 hours a week, you know, you individually. But a lot of these companies did, you know, these people started these companies, and then they would bid for more and more routes and areas, and pretty soon that kind of pushed out a lot of the flex drivers.
Right.
But right now, Amazon's begging. I mean, I wasn't hearing nothing out of them, and I'm getting emails constantly. You know, grab one of these slots before they're gone. I'm like, no thanks.
Right.
You know, and Brian's like, should have done it. Yeah. I mean, look, you know, the investment was really low.
I should have bought Bitcoin when I could have bought that for 11 cents a piece.
Yeah, no shit. You know, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
You know,
If I'd have bet $1,000 worth of Bitcoin back in '97, whenever I had the opportunity, I could have had like 10,000 Bitcoins for $1,000.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I know me. I'm not going to sit until Bitcoin's hitting $40,000. If Bitcoin would have hit $3, I would have been tickled shitless and it would have dumped it.
Right. And here we go. Safe Moon.
Yeah, I hadn't looked into that yet.
I haven't either. I know that Brian's real up on it, and if he would learn to use some protection so he wouldn't get warts on his poop chute, maybe he could be here to explain that. And he said, Safe Moon hits in 2025. You know, I don't know if I want to live that long. I'll just be honest, you know. I mean,
I'd like to think that I would still be able to spend money consciously.
Yep, he says.
He's got 28 million in coins.
He's got, shut up.
Right. That about the time it hits big, they're going to be locked up in a wallet in a hard drive that he's long forgot about somewhere in his garage that has been affected by heat, and he'll never be able to access his 28 million in coins, even if they get up to $40,000 a piece. Man, Safe Moon. So let me tell you, talk about speculating. You're doing a lot of speculating, like on a like a long-term commodity or some shit. You know, commodities move fast, you know, and you can make money if it's moving up or down. But a lot of people lose their ass trying to trade in commodities or day trading. Well, have you heard of the term survivorship bias?
No.
Okay. Survivorship bias is whenever people are interviewed or they are questioned about their business practice because they're at the top of the game, and everybody thinks that if this guy did it, then everybody else could do it. But what they're not seeing is everybody else that tried doing the exact same thing and failed along the way.
Right.
So it started off with planes that were coming back in World War II, bombers. Yeah. And they were the bombers that were coming back had bullet holes in certain patterns.
Yes.
And they were the big study was, well, we need to armor where those bullet holes are. And one particular scientist said, no. We need to armor where all those bullets aren't.
That's right.
Because where the bullets aren't is what is driving the planes back in. And when those spots get hit by bullets, that's what
takes them down.
Out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember hearing about that.
So that's
study.
that's survivorship bias.
Okay.
So you've got these people, in big names, and I don't want to trash talk anybody because they're doing well. So you've got your like Tony Robbins and your who are the big guys on TV that they're always if I can do it, anybody could do it. They've always got this hard luck story where I didn't have food for 3 days and I had $8 in my pocket.
The next Tom Vu,
right?
Whatever,
and Carlton Sheets, all these guys from the infomercials. I mean, it didn't really work out for the one that hung himself in prison. What was his name?
Shit. Yeah,
he was the all you've got to do is place these 2-line classified ads. And Don LaPree, that was his name. All you've got to do is place these 2-line classified ads in every small newspaper across the country, advertising this little shitty product, and the volume that you're going to get off that is going to just make you filthy rich.
You bet.
Well, it's just like a pyramid scheme. I've looked into several pyramid schemes just in the course of things, and I figured out it doesn't matter how wide of a net you cast. You're only able to get 13 levels deep in a pyramid scheme before you run out of people on the planet to pitch to.
There you go.
So if you're only at level 4 or 5, your options are limited, regardless of what
Absolutely. Somebody's always left holding the bag.
Right.
The first man in the pyramid scheme, he's the one that makes the money,
right.
And that's it. Yeah.
And he's the one that makes the money, and then he's got a second layer that's actually doing all the real work.
Exactly.
So he's sitting pretty at the top.
You bet.
His lieutenants are doing all the work.
Yep.
And they've got probably the people that are working from them are making enough to stick with it.
Yeah.
Everybody under that is paying a fortune just to be. So survivorship bias is like, you don't say to the guy that just climbed Mount Everest, he's not going to be standing up there going, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Right.
That's total bullshit.
Right.
You don't have Michael Phelps standing up with 12 Olympic gold medals and going, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Because that's just total bullshit.
Exactly.
And they do a lot of this with business leaders. They interview these business execs. Well, here's how I made it. What they don't interview is all the people that tried similar things and fell flat on their ass. And they don't look into things like, how much luck had to do with it, how much being at the right place at the right time.
So many factors.
You networked with the right person that hooked you up with the toehold that you had to springboard your idea into reality that 99.999% of the people in the world are never going to have access to.
Right.
And so survivorship bias is all these guys that are just, they're playing off of the commonality of people.
Sure.
So I didn't go to college. I didn't get an education.
You bet.
I had 3 jobs. I had a family with 4 kids, and every dollar was going to just put food on the table, and I had to do better myself. And now look at me. I'm driving the Lamborghini, and I live in the mansion and all this.
I
and
buy real estate for zero money down.
And I don't use my own money. I use other people's money, and it's just all a bunch of shit. And
it is.
And it's all about getting more money from people that really don't have it to give up to begin with.
You bet.
So
you bet. Let me tell you, if it's such a great deal, they're usually not coming to you with it.
Right.
You got to go seek it out. You know, it's like when somebody shows up at your door with a product. If it's that goddamn good, why are you coming to me?
Well, there was one time a kid showed up at my front door, and I remember this very well. I had a 93 Nissan pickup. You probably remember. I drove the shit out of that thing.
Yeah.
It had been beat to hell, and somebody had ran into the side of my door, and I had this black streak running across the door, and I tried every cleaner that I could get my hands on, other than like some abrasive Comet, Barkeeper's Friend, something like that I knew was going to just rub the paint off of it.
Right.
And this kid comes to my door, and he's got a sales pitch and a squirt bottle product.
Right.
He looks over at the truck door, and he's like, after he's rattled off everything that's so clean, he said, "If I can clean that, would you buy a bottle from me?" I said, yeah, I would. He walks over, he squirts that cleaner into a rag, and he just wipes that black right off of that
no
door.
shit.
And I was like, yeah, I'll buy a bottle. And I've still got part of that bottle because it comes in like a gallon concentrate.
Yeah.
And you only use 3 tablespoons for every bottle that you're mixing up.
Holy shit.
And I've used that stuff for years. And,
I'll be damned.
And so...
Wow, then you're one of the few people I've ever heard of, somebody showing up. And
speaking of somebody showing up.
Uh-oh, we've got a call.
Caller.
You're live at the bar. Hello.
He butt dialed us.
You think it was him?
I know it was. He had to butt dial us.
He was clenching his butt. He said on his Safe Moon, he says it only has to hit 1 cent and he'll have $280,000.
Okay. But he also said he has 28 million of them. So if he's got 28 million of them, how many did they put into circulation? How many billions of coins are there that have to hit 1 cent?
Exactly.
So
hey, I hope it does.
I'll let him upgrade all the equipment.
I'll definitely be coming to him, telling him how much I believed in him
He
at
might
the time.
absolutely, and maybe he'll be able to afford a larger surgical team so they can
Exactly. So
they can do
it
everything all at once.
man.
Right.
A dedicated full team that specializes in the removal of warts that may or may not have weird genetic material like teeth or hair in it.
You about ready to refill your drink?
Yeah, I think it's about break time.
Why don't we do that?
All right. We're going to go to break, and then when we come back, there's going to be more excitement and probably more bullshit about Brian. So stay tuned.
Yep.
And don't forget to call in when we come back from break. Say something.
And I think at this point now we're supposed to say something about click like and subscribe or do funny things with.
You bet. I mean, fuck, write hate mail if you have
Yeah.
to. Just give us something. We're down.
Tell us why we're bad.
Exactly. All right. Break it is.
We'll be back in a bit.
The guys are recycling their drinks, and we'll be right back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And there's,
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, we're back.
hey, look at us go.
Barely made it back in time.
I'm telling you.
I think Jason might have had to pinch one off.
Something, man. I'm telling you. But he has this soap called Crisp Morning Air in
Yes.
his bathroom. And if that is indeed what Crisp Morning Air smells like at some point in the world, that's where I want to live. That's how good that smells. It smells like no Crisp Morning Air I've ever fucking smelled.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
Well, I always used to hate growing up. We used to use that real crappy Glade can, whatever.
yeah,
The cheapest stuff that you could buy, and it just smelled like somebody just shit in a forest.
exactly. So, you get perfume and shit.
Right.
So, yeah. And, I was just talking to Bob about something. I have a little, I have an organization that I give to, and I'd like to talk about it for just a second. It's called Kiva, Kiva. And what it is microloans for people all over the world, especially communities and people that are underserved or they have no other opportunity. And Kiva works with lenders from all over the world. And these people, sometimes the loan is funded already by the time you're given, you kind of crowdfund this loan. Even though it may already be funded, it frees up money for this little organization wherever they're at to loan to more people. But it tells, you get to pick, I want to lend money to whoever, wherever, for whatever purpose,
Right.
And so you go through there and you find the person you think is, that is worthy of your loan, and you can put in 25 or 50 or 100 or whatever you want. But they pay that loan back over time.
Now, is this a one-time payment, or is this
This is one-time
okay.
payment. You can set it up to do it automatic if you want, whatever, but it's a one-time payment. And then that person slowly pays that loan back. But when they do, that money comes back to your account and you can lend it again. So I'll tell you, how can you make $25 help so many people over time rather than just giving them $25?
right?
But so what I do is every payday I give to Kiva. Now, Kiva doesn't ask you to fund them, but they say, hey, you can add this amount to help us facilitate the loan, or you can give nothing to Kiva.
Right.
Either way. Then, and if you look at the background, we're talking PayPal people, these are titans in the industry who created this.
Yeah.
And it's become an amazing success. Now, some of these it talks about who the lender is. Sometimes maybe the interest rate is a little high. There's risk. You could lose money. Never lost money on it, but it tells you, whether it's funded, previously or not. But I got to tell you, it's nice to be able to go on there and say, hey, I have $50 to lend, and plus I'm adding another 50 to it. It's life-changing for people in communities. People are wanting to buy seed for, more farm
Right.
products, or buy cattle, or buy home improvement, or build an indoor restroom or something. So,
Right.
So the next time you're feeling charitable and you're looking for a way to where you're worried about just giving money. Some people, it really bothers them to just give money and wonder, does it really go to what I want? How about making a microloan? And you can take your 25, 50, 100, whatever you add up to, you can lend it over and over and change somebody's life. There's people in America that want these loans. They're all over the world, literally. So KIVA, look it up. It's definitely worth your time. If you're looking for a warm fuzzy, it's a cheap way to do it. Okay, get off my soapbox now.
That's not a soapbox. I enjoy things like that because, there's not enough good organizations to donate to that you actually are fully aware that the money's going to a good cause. Let
me tell you, Kiva has their stats on there. It's amazing what they've done. And if you read the history of it and how it started, this finance model, it's absolutely fabulous. We get in here and we talk and we laugh and we have fun. We talk about some serious stuff and we talk about some utter ridiculous bullshit.
Like anal warts.
Exactly, because that's what we do. That's what Bob and Brian and I do, and that's what we've done for years, and we hope you enjoy it too. But this one is near and dear to my heart. And I don't believe in a selfless act. I don't believe they exist. There is no such thing as a selfless act.
No, because if you actually do something and claiming that it's selfless, you're really helping yourself.
You get a warm fuzzy.
Yeah.
You get the satisfaction of knowing you did something, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you do something charitable and don't tell a soul, good for you. You weren't looking for that kudos, but you still got your warm fuzzy. Right. And that, like I said, that's not a bad thing. So do something good for yourself today. You know what? Give $25 to Kiva. Pick the person with their picture and their story and what they're trying to do. Spend that $25 to make yourself feel good.
Yeah.
It's better than a pedicure. Now, come and get it.
Do they have like a options where it's an investment where you have an opportunity to get a return on your money if you're trying to invest in somebody's startup business or anything like that, or did they do this kind of things?
No, it's what it is let's say this person is asking for $1,500 for whatever. You read all about the loan and find out whether it's going to be funded before the money's raised or not. Because some of them are pre-funded. Some of them don't get funded unless they're the crowdfunding has already happened. But Kiva works with partners all over the world, these little lending things. Some of them have better interest rates than others. Some of them you look at it and go, man, that's kind of high interest rate. But the deal is why? What'd I do? Wait, which one? You're kidding. Another Facebook ban, people. Because... hang on, let me get off back of my soapbox. So when we were about to fire up, the first thing I sent was test message, and then I put send nudes, and then I put or just whatevs. And Facebook has 7-day banned us, which means they've banned Bob. Let's see. And Brian has made a comment on that. So, hey, thanks, Facebook, for closing that down. You oversensitive thing, you.
We're going to have to do something.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Send nudes. What if they were tasteful nudes? What if I was talking about art? A study of nudes. But Facebook's going to 7-day ban. I would dispute that. This is absolutely ridiculous. Send nudes. I thought it was funny. And we got a 7-day ban for that.
What if it was a spelling mistake? What if it was send dudes?
There you go. Yeah.
Or what if it was the 70s? Send lewds.
Right? Yeah. And
or what if we're dealing with people that are kind of, shy, send prudes.
There you go. So let's see. We had comments on here about anal warts, all kinds of stuff. But send nudes is enough for Facebook, who has become the prudish library of the social media world. That's absolutely ridiculous. And let's see. Brian says the show's still broadcasting on Facebook. Excellent.
Yeah, but we just can't.
but we can't say anything because we have got a ban. So all the comments, you can just forget it. So I am the king of getting Bob bans, and I am sorry, Bob. Send nudes. So apparently I can say it, I just can't type it.
Right, because they don't have a filter running through the audio transcript of our conversation. All they're doing is seeing the comments on the screen.
So could I say something? Oh, and of course we can't control what other people post, so they won't hold that against us.
Right.
So anyone that would like to comment and put "suck a cock" Facebook over and over.
Yeah. But then they're probably going to get suspended too.
Well, yeah. So, join us.
Oh, well.
Join us in solidarity for 7 days. That is horse shite.
Well, I don't have much going on Facebook for the next 7 days anyway. So.
We need to create a separate account.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've got a great account for it. So, there we go. An unused account.
Well, we can just create one.
There you go. Yeah. So if we're still broadcasting on Facebook, please know that Facebook has become your ultra religious grandmother, or
clutching pearls at everything that you do.
Oh yeah, her monocle pops out constantly, and oh my gosh, well I've never. Well, you know what? That's getting a little absurd.
Yeah,
and so excuse us, Facebook, and. Anyway, so here's an extra reason for me to give an additional amount of money to Kiva because I could use the boost. How about that? So anyway, once again, I'll get off my soapbox and give it a thought, people. Kiva, Kiva.
There's something about whenever you see reviews for products and you just see people commenting on things of a random nature.
Sure.
Have you ever read reviews for a product where somebody said, well, I don't own it yet, but I'm looking into it, or I bought the product, but I haven't tried it yet, but I think it'll do this, or I think it'll do that. And you're sitting there wondering, why are you wasting my time? Why do people feel the innate need to type something? Why do
Human
they
connection? These are the same people that would cherish a participant ribbon. Please acknowledge me. I'm here.
But
yeah,
but they have they're not bringing value to
no, absolutely none. But you know what? They felt compelled because they want to be heard. They want to be heard and they want to be known.
But they want to be known for being an asshat that doesn't know what they're talking about and shouldn't have answered anything in the first place.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's like Bruce Willis in the movies. Anything thrown his way, he'd jump on.
Yeah.
So it's like these people, like they just wait for somebody to ask them a question and they don't know the answer, but they're going to spew on about not knowing the answer.
They'll ask, you get the little email, could you answer this question? Because another potential buyer has asked a question, and then you'll have people answer. It's like,
I gave it as a gift, but I think that they like it.
Yeah, shit like that. And it's like, come on, man, we didn't need you for that.
Right.
But they just felt compelled, and maybe they're lonely.
And it's like an overwhelming compulsion that they just, it's like there is no foul in sitting there and shutting the fuck up.
Have you seen the Nextdoor app? Okay. I think you called it the Lost Dog app.
Yeah, the Lost Dog app or Found Dog app.
Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of it. But I am amazed at the stupidity of the people in the area I live in. And this one woman commented, "There's a strange man that's going door to door," and all the neighbors commented, "Yes, he's with a pest control company, he's a young kid, and all this other stuff." But I noticed that he's stopping at people's driveways and writing something down, and I think he's recording tag numbers, and that's illegal for him to write your tag number down.
No, it's
because
not.
you can tie it to your address. And I said, actually, it's not illegal. I said, in fact, I'm heading your way right now to write down your tag number. Get ready to pitch a fit, Karen. And
I bet that was not taken nicely.
Actually, of course, it asked me, it sounds like your last response is,
a little aggressive,
or something like that.
Yeah.
And some little algorithm, but I usually don't respond, but I just thought, God damn, you paranoid old sack of bones, lock yourself in the fucking house and stop looking out the window. There's nothing wrong with being alert and aware of people in your neighborhood, but don't spout off shit that you absolutely know nothing about or can back up. That's my job. If you're going to make up facts, be goddamn convincing at making them up.
Right.
And I am a convincing liar when I want to be because I enjoy it so thoroughly. Now, I don't enjoy lying about things that are important things or things that matter to people. I hope you're listening to that, Janie. I like to lie about utter bullshit.
Like anal warts.
Yeah, or make up something about a product or a
Right.
thing. Novotny will appreciate this. I once convinced someone that kolaches, because of the Kolache Festival
Right.
in Prague, they asked, what are those? And I said, when we passed the river, because we were heading down there to, my family's place there,
Right.
we're right outside of Prague. And where we cross the river, you'll see these big old cross metal arms, these big giant, they're trash traps. They catch big debris and stuff.
Oh,
and stuff
okay.
like- But I told him, I said, these are kolache traps. And I said, in the spring, when the kolaches start running and stuff, I said, they migrate down the river and they catch them in these traps. And then they're caught and they're slaughtered and cleaned and cooked and, kolache. And I had this dipshit convinced that kolache was a small animal. Like it,
Right.
He's like, is it
How
like
many noggins
fish?
did it take to cover that couch?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, no, it's like a small mammal. It's not like the running of the smelt or some shit. But
Yes, they're not like snipes. They're a little bit bigger.
yeah, and so I love to lie and do shit like
Right.
that.
And so 20 years from now, whenever he's trying to explain to his kids what kolaches are, and somebody's looking at him going, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he finally figured it out.
Yeah.
And that's not true. And I'm like, you fucking think.
Well, it was like used to work with a guy many years ago, and he bought a motorcycle for the first time, and he didn't buy one because he wanted one. He bought it because he thought it would make him look cool. And he was convinced to join the North American Motorbike Lovers Association, NAMBLA.
Oh my God. Which, if you don't know what it really stands for, Bob, clue them in.
The North American Man Boy Love Association.
They absolutely, they're proponents of pedophilia, and they believe that children are mature enough to make the decision to have a sexual relationship with an adult.
Yep. And so he was convinced
Fuckers.
that he needed to join them. So this was the days before the internet. So he was sending them, got their address and self-addressed or a stamped envelope, and an entry fee, and sent his membership information in.
That's so awesome. And I think that most of it's gone underground now because there was such pressure. But you know what? We should do an experiment and really have some fun. We need somebody with a Facebook account that isn't banned to just write the word in all caps, NAMBLA, NAMBLA, and see if Facebook bans you for 7 days for that, because that is as offensive as you can get. An organization that says we think it's fine for us to engage in pedophilia. So how about you put that down and see what Facebook does about that? Let's see how good their algorithm is, or whether just nudes.
Just send nudes.
Send nudes, Facebook. Oh my God.
I mean, I've sent that to every girl that I've ever had an online relationship with.
Let me tell
And
you
never
what.
got banned.
And I say it jokingly, and I say it all the time. Hey, send nudes. But you know what? They're nice to have. When you're with a girl and she sends them, you're like, wow. And you know what?
That's power right there.
You know what? You know what? Let me tell you what being decent is. Let's say you're dating a girl and she sends you nudes, and you're like, man, that's hot. And you've got those, and you're super excited. Look, when that relationship goes south, that could be an embarrassment to her. Have the gosh damn decency to destroy them
Yeah,
eventually.
or at least save them off so that you still have access to them on a private basis, but they're not available for anybody that finds your phone.
For Spank Bank.
Right.
Secure folder.
The highlight reel.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know what? So that's it. And that's where revenge porn laws came into effect,
Right.
which are, by God, they should be. But of all the evil crap in the world, we're talking about maybe trying to do a little good, and we make one comment. Facebook, you've become a joke.
Yeah.
You are on your way to becoming the next abandoned fun park like MySpace.
Yep. If they could only figure out how to play a song whenever somebody clicked on your page.
Yeah. Exactly. And then I could rate my friends like like MySpace had, you had to, your
Right.
top friends like, well, anyway, not your. Did I move down?
Well, why am I not in your top 8?
Tom wanted to fuck with people, is what Tom wanted.
Tom
to
was
do.
an asshole. Tom was locked in his mom's basement for years writing that algorithm,
You
and
bet.
he was now looking to pit all the cool kids against each other, because if you weren't in somebody's top 8, you weren't shit.
Yeah, and now Tom's somewhere on a tropical island, I hope, sipping a cocktail and laughing, going, "Your next Facebook."
Yeah.
And Facebook has gotten utterly ridiculous, and most of society we're backward. And I think this incident really shows it.
Well, one thing that I'd like to see you be able to do on Facebook is to go on Facebook incognito, where you don't see any of your friends' bullshit, you don't see anybody else's bullshit, but you're there for the content.
Yeah.
So the news stories, the articles, the things like that, where you're not even messing with people.
That's why you have a hidden throwaway account that you keep for years and never add a soul to it.
Yeah.
And and if you look up people
Yep.
out of curiosity, you could appear in there. You may know later.
Right.
So you have to be very careful with that. You have to be looking for specific things, and you do it on a throwaway
Yeah.
account. And not that I have such a thing.
Right. Not that I will have such a thing for the next 7 days.
Right. So,
But
golly, just unbelievable, man.
so we've seen all the bullshit reviews.
Yes.
Okay. Are you sick of the surveys yet?
Oh, God, yeah.
Everything I do in life requires a survey now to find out if I was satisfied with the experience.
At least McDonald's says, look, if you buy a quarter pounder or
Right.
whatever, we'll give you a quarter pounder if you'll do this survey.
Right.
And I got to tell you, let's say that McDonald's is your thing. You ain't got a lot of money. You got some hungry ass kids, whatever.
Or you just like the taste.
Or you just like a quarter pounder every
Yep.
now and then. But you do and almost every ticket has that survey.
Yeah.
And it's good for 7 days after the ticket. You take the damn little survey online.
Right.
It doesn't take that long. And they give you a code and you pull up the window. And I can tell you from experience, don't order a double quarter and expect to get that free quarter. No, it says you got to order a quarter pounder to get the quarter pounder.
Okay,
And
well, I'll
I
be
said-
circling the bill, and we'll be right back with this bitch.
I said, I've never had that problem before. And she's like, well, that's what it says. And I said, then I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to add a quarter pounder onto my order. And she's like, well, it'd have to be, not that one, you'd have to. I said, I understand, lady. I'm ordering a quarter
How about
pounder.
this?
Add a quarter pounder onto
In
my
fact-
already order.
In fact, take that double quarter pounder off of my order, add a regular quarter pounder in its place, and then I want you to do something so bizarre you've never even contemplated. Add an extra patty
Yeah.
onto that
Yeah.
quarter pounder that I first ordered.
How fucking hard is that?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's become a world where we don't think for ourselves. We need canned answers and responses.
It's got to be scripted. Yeah.
You bet. And as you can tell, that's not what we're about here. We're not scripted.
No.
We don't need to be. But we pay the price for whatever, and since we've started this, how many bands have we or copyright violations?
Well, they go incrementally. So first it was like 12 hours, and then it was 24 hours, then it was 3 days, and now we're up to 7 days. So
Crap.
So I think the next one's like a 30-day ban. So let's try real hard not to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna from now on. My chat will be things like this: peace, love, joy.
Unicorns, rainbows,
You bet.
fairy dust.
Brian on his through Facebook said "stupid ass Facebook," so he's making a stand in solidarity.
Yeah.
Somehow I doubt, with all the power of all our listeners, we'll make a dent in Facebook.
I doubt it.
I don't think they even know we're on the radar. But
Our-
you know what? When you're so big and powerful that your algorithm controls everything and automated, or like Amazon, where you can be fired by AI, artificial intelligence, instead of a human.
You read that article this week, didn't you?
Yeah, let me tell you, you sent me that, and whew,
It made a lot of sense.
it burned my ass.
Well, not only their AI is firing people, they have a model built in for their managers that their managers are required to fire a certain percentage of their staff every particular period, or that affects the manager's rating.
Yeah.
And so they actually hire people that they don't think are going to work out for the specific purpose of having people available to fire
Yeah.
to meet their numbers.
And it said that Jeff Bezos has supposedly it's documented, he has said that he believes the American worker is inherently lazy. And as time goes by, they become less motivated to do their job and become more comfortable. So Jeff Bezos treats the American workforce as if it is an endless supply.
Right.
That he can use to hire and fire as he goes. And of course, right now, people are begging for employees. And when all that unemployment ends, he'll be back to business as usual. But one thing I'd like to point out is that Amazon recruits at these big gatherings that the people that live more of a vagabond type life. They live out of their vans. They live out of their RVs or whatever.
Yep.
They live that life. And
basically people with very low daily expenses.
And older people.
Yeah.
And that have lost everything. And they live that way. In fact, there was a recent movie about it. It was very good. Won Academy Award, I believe. Which was, what was it? Something Landia. Anyway.
Portlandia?
No.
That's a TV show.
No, yeah. Not Portlandia. They're just a bunch of homeless hippies. But Amazon has work camps that at these distribution centers, they recruit these older workers because they know they're dedicated, but they work them long hours.
Yep.
Hard hours. There's lots of injuries. You stay at these camps, and from what I understand, some of these camps aren't that great, but you get free, lot rental, space rental, and it's seasonal work. They actually go to these events, because they have these big events where, all these, people that live this life, these caravan, all come together, and they had swap meets and trades and things and tips and trips, tricks and Amazon recruits.
Yep.
And specifically those people, and then they're eligible for this. And Amazon has an amazing number of distribution center accidents per capita, I guess, compared to some other businesses. But they work these people, they're taking advantage, in my opinion. Thank goodness many people are happy to take the job. That's also like the sugar beet harvest. That's one of them that they'll do and stuff like that. But they're grueling jobs, but it allows them to continue this lifestyle that maybe they don't have anything left.
Right.
Something wiped out their savings. They lost their home, whatever. And they find yourself 70 years old and living out of your damn van, and Bezos is going to pay you some bullshit per hour fee. Well, thank you for the job. I do appreciate it. Pay a damn living wage.
Right.
I'm sick of it. There's people in this nation that are working their asses off that deserve a living wage. But in the meantime, we keep the wage low, and we do script everything, and we try to bubble wrap and idiot proof these jobs so that we can pay somebody some paltry $8 an hour or some shit.
Right.
And they don't have to know anything. And we don't give a shit if they take pride in it. And we don't give a shit if they stay.
Yeah.
Because people have that philosophy. There's always an endless crop of people that'll need a job. And that attitude is clearly, if you have that attitude, that tells me that what you're trying to do, you want to see a privileged class that keeps the lower class down.
Well, it's no different than a 1930s company town.
You bet. The company store.
Right.
Tennessee Ernie Ford, writing songs about it,
Right.
That's probably going to be a copyright violation. Shit. So, we can't talk about any book or song unless it's 100 years old, not a copyright.
I think Tennessee Ernie Ford's probably close.
Right?
But
yeah.
Well, there's an article that came out earlier this week that was talking about shoot, I lost my thought there. I'll pick it back up in a minute.
Well, we're talking about the not being paid a living wage.
Oh yeah, that was it. Okay. So no state in America has a affordable housing for anybody that's making minimum wage.
Yeah.
If you're making a minimum wage, you cannot afford a place to live on your own.
No, and if you couple it with a couple of kids,
right? Right.
And so let's take a hard line. Let's take the billionaire fat cat. Let's be a Rockefeller or
J. Paul Getty or
Diamond Jim Brady and say, well, they shouldn't have had kids. Maybe she should have kept her legs together. So since when in the history of human beings, how the fuck do you think we ended up with billions of people upon the earth from keeping our legs closed?
Right.
It is ingrained in us to multiply and to want to multiply.
Not only that, but we have built an entire economy that is based on a larger population coming up behind us to shore things up for
you bet
the older generation.
You bet.
So we are.
Let it be our great grandchildren's problem.
We are built on a growth economy. And at some point in time, they're going to have to pay the piper because growth can only happen so long. And I've seen studies that showing that the growth has slowed down to the point that it's fixing to start declining.
The bubble pops. So what happens is each generation, we like the idea of it living better than the last.
Right.
But there comes a point, and I believe we've reached that point where now our children aren't as able to have the opportunities that I did at their age. I know that my children don't. I was younger than my children when I bought my first home.
Right.
And I had shit for credit. I filed bankruptcy at 18 years old.
Right.
And I bought a house when I was, 22 years old.
22.
22 years old, and I wrote letters to the bank. Interest rates at that point were the lowest they'd been in a long time.
Right.
But I wrote letters. I did everything because I had this older real estate agent. She said, honey, we'll get you a house. Here's what I want you to do. And she worked her tail off, and her name was Arlie. She was great. She's long passed, but she was chiefly responsible for keeping us on the ball, and I was able to buy a house for me, my wife, and my two children, and the house payment was about the same as what I was paying in rent.
Yep.
But it was mine.
Absolutely.
And
you're building equity at that point?
You betcha. And so my children don't have that opportunity right now.
No.
And the wages have not matched and come up with.
No.
I'll tell you, it's just, it's shameful, and we are at that point. After World War II, the economy was booming.
Yep.
You could go get a factory job,
Yep.
blue collar, and work your way maybe to mid management. Your wife stayed at home with the kids. You lived you were middle class home, a car. You see the nation, or
go on vacation.
That's it. Yeah. And
road trip, caravan.
You bet. And see the USA in your Chevrolet. And it was wonderful. And you could literally afford to send your kids to college. And then colleges got smart and said, look, not everyone's college material. Not everyone is cut out to be, an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever.
Engineer. Yeah.
Yes. How about instead we offer some horseshit degrees? And I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes that has a degree, but they offered bullshit degrees that you can go to. And some of these degrees aren't worth the sheepskin they're written on.
No.
Some of them, it depends on the person. They say, well, any degree because it opens a door.
Okay. Actually, there's some truth to that.
There is.
Back in the early 90s, whenever I was first getting started in the IT field.
Right.
It didn't matter what degree you had. As long as you had a piece of paper that said that you had a degree.
Because it speaks to this person was able to do this and make it through this.
This person went followed the rules for 4 years and accomplished something.
And now we get, people with, a degree working at Olive Garden.
Right.
And because a lot of these bachelor's degrees aren't worth shite.
Well, the difference between a sociology degree and a pepperoni pizza? The pepperoni pizza will feed a family of 4.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So some of these degrees, unless you get a master's and then a doctorate and then get on with a university, you've got to lead an academic life and hope you get tenure, and then you can be a real prick, to your student, helpers and shit. But it comes down to they sold a bill of bullshit because, about college, and now we're living in the age of $1 million plumbing company owners.
Yep.
And tradesmen. And so I'll tell you, being a tradesman myself, I'm a firm believer in learning a trade. You take a young man that's not afraid to work and teach him to be a plumber, a good plumber.
But doesn't even have to be a man.
Or woman. That's right. That's true. I worked with a woman boiler operator, was one of the finest I've ever known.
Yeah.
She was absolutely amazing. So please don't let me come across as sexist. If a person were to enter a trade, electrician, HVAC, plumbing, you name it. Learn it, work at it. And I know a guy that learned all of those trades, busted his ass doing it, and went to night school for business courses, built him a business,
sold it.
And man, I gotta tell you, he did well for himself. So I'll tell you.
All right, here's something I've thought about here in the last few months. Okay, there's a lot of people that have the opinion that there's certain jobs that women shouldn't have because they can't do the work.
Yeah, okay. I'm
all right.
Maybe. I'm sure we can come up with an example.
Right. It usually has to do with physical capabilities, lifting, toting, carrying, that type of thing. All right. But if you look at it, every job that is in place that has those type of limitations, those limitations were placed there because the men had a certain limitation that they couldn't exceed, and so they were propped up at that point either with a machine or with some other apparatus that made it possible for them to do the job.
Sure.
So, for example, you got 50-pound sacks of feed.
Right.
Okay, that's what they determined a man should be able to handle.
Right.
If they would have looked at it, well, what can a man or a woman be able to handle, then we'd probably have 30-pound sacks of feed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that a woman can't do the job. It was just the job was specifically designed for a man to do.
Yeah. Exactly. It was tailored for that.
Right.
I'd like to also give an example of, this is an actual example that happened on one of my projects. One of these projects was a massive plumbing drain line project that was literally hundreds and hundreds of feet long,
right,
and serviced more than one restroom that were completely unusable within this facility. And this is a huge facility.
Yep. It's one of the longest buildings in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the companion building that they took from GM.
Okay.
So it's the old GM factory. So one of the things we were doing the project initial prep, and one of some people in the area that move parts around, one of the things we were going to have to do was cut a trench in the floor.
Yep.
Okay. And they said, but because there's traffic, golf cart traffic, everything else in this building, and truck traffic and everything, they were going to put steel plates, of course, over the trench. It's a standard thing.
Right. Just like you would driving down the road and you cross a steel plate whenever they're trenching.
You bet.
Yep.
Real simple. And a woman stepped forward. Now, right now, they were having to use a porta potties outside. It's summertime.
Oh, God.
In this area. Or else they were going to have to go a quarter of a mile to find a restroom that worked. And the first one down there didn't. But
there's times I couldn't make a quarter mile.
No, I'm telling you. So this woman says, well, we have to push these carts with these boxes, with these, across, this area.
Right.
And they said, okay, it's a 1-inch lip.
Right.
And she said, if that's hard for us to get over that, and she's got her hand cart, it's a 4-wheel cart, and she's got boxes piled up 8 feet. And I said, man, I bet safety would probably have an issue with that anyway. But, she was adamant about it because she's like, well, y'all can't do that because it'll make our job basically difficult. And
difficult or impossible?
Yeah. Well, the contracting officer, a young woman who I just loved. She moved onward and upward very quickly because she was very good. She looked at her and said, how did we ever win the war? How did Rosie the Riveter win the war? You can't get over an inch lip. She said, aren't we equal to men? Isn't that the big thing? Yeah. We can do anything a man can do. You can't get that over a lip. And shut her right up. I was like, good for you. Because she's like, this is bullshit. She got, she's like, these people are ridiculous. And I said, well, you can continue to use the porta potty out back, and then had problems with a different group and all that stuff. In fact, made a comment to some Sans Belt wearing slack piece of shit that, got reported to my boss. And then I was forced to take leave and go on a vacation, hence the trip to the Redwoods, but yeah, what it comes down to is, that job that a woman can't do, tell that to Rosie the Riveter. In 1943 or 44, tell her that when she was out there building, bombers and fighters and things like that. That's horseshit. We've become a nation of consumers instead of producers. And as such, we don't want to do a lot of things. And that seems to be the problem. But there's money to be made. You've got to work for it. but sometimes you just don't get there. There's always going to be a stratification of class, job, income levels and things like that. But you can go and you can get a trade and you can make a decent living.
Yeah.
It's just, but in the meantime, people still need a living wage. I understand that we want cheap McDonald's burgers, cheap Walmart prices.
But the people that have the skills to take the order in the restaurant aren't the same people that have the skills to build the machines that are the kiosks that they want you to order from.
Yes.
So you may have somebody that is perfectly fine taking orders in a restaurant. They cannot achieve the level of competency necessary to transition to a person that maintains those kiosks.
Right.
And it takes fewer of those people. So
exactly.
So you have basically replaced an entire workforce of order takers with machinery, and you've used engineers and highly skilled labor and people that are professionals
to
do that. So you've just taken a team of professionals to design somebody to kick the shit out of somebody that's the only skill they had was to be able to take orders in the fast food restaurant.
You bet. So let's shit on them and make sure that they
don't have a job.
That they either don't have a job and then we can support them one way or other, because you're going to have to support the people in your society one way or the other. And so it comes down to, it irks all of us to think that some kid's going to get $15 an hour to flip burgers at McDonald's. But the thing is, there's a single mother with 2 kids out there that needs it. That needs the job and all that. And I don't want to hear she should have kept her legs closed. I don't want to hear none of that horse shit. I'm just saying woulda, shoulda, coulda don't solve a goddamn thing. So here we are in this situation, and lots of jobs get phased out over time. Once upon a time, do you know what one of the biggest issues that faced New York City and all the boroughs was?
No.
The sheer amount of horse manure. Look it up.
I do remember that now.
Yes. And so, but now it's not a problem. That job is phased out.
Absolutely.
And, so things do change. We know that. And once again, I'm on my soapbox, but I believe in a living wage, and it's going to make your McDonald's burger a little higher. But you know what? People bitch every time the wage goes up. When they raised the minimum wage from 4, whatever it was, 4.25?
$4.25 an hour to $5.15.
Oh my God!
The world was going to end.
Price is going to go up, but it's the uneducated. They're bitching about it. God damn, I'm squeaking by, but I'm scared to death that now I won't because these people that are under me now, they're going to be squeaking by. Shit, I'm going to be in the same boat as them. So you can look at it as, okay, we bring everyone up to our standard, or we bring everyone down to their standard. That's not the way to do it, and that's not what's going to happen. To say that raising the wage to a livable wage is going to destroy our economy is short-sighted, and I defy any of these goddamn people that have a master's in business, or finance to tell me otherwise. I'll take it from the one that's sitting right across from me, not from some asshole that's out there, in a cafe. Well, by God, that'll ruin everything. Prices will go up. And no, let me tell you.
So your order of fries at McDonald's is going to cost you 40 cents more.
Holy shit!
If that's ruining your life,
man, you're fucked.
Yep,
you're fucked. So,
but your 40-cent fry is ruining your life, so somebody else can actually have a roof over their head.
You bet.
So
you bet. And I, for one, here I go. I'm going to throw a shout out to Janie. Man, she works hard, and she works a lot. So it's not a matter, and she does okay. I mean, she's in Florida, right now on vacation.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you what, and she is skilled. I'm not going to give away all her secrets and her privacy stuff, but
I've heard she's skilled.
You're going to get me in trouble. Shut up. No, she's
Actually, I hadn't, but now that you gave that away.
She has, an education and a license for the things she does, and she is a hard worker that works routinely more hours than a 40-hour week because she's motivated. She has children to take care of too, and I got to tell you, I think she's tough, and I think that she deserves more money than whatever she's getting. I have another friend who has a college degree that she's had. She didn't just get it now, late in life. She got it when she was young, like you know, when you're supposed to. And she has consistently worked her entire life, owns her own home. She's done all this on her own. She is a conscientious and hard worker and good friend of mine. And it irks me that she doesn't make as much as what I think she should make.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's not just up to me, but let me tell you what, I'm pro my fellow man, regardless of the shit I talk. And I can't stand the idea of somebody struggling and they're working 40 hours a week and struggling to make ends meet. And I know things are rougher in other parts of the world, but once upon a time, our nation was the envy, our system, our economy, our jurisprudence, our political system was the envy of the world.
Yeah, and you've got people like over in Europe that just take off the entire month of August because that's what they do.
Yeah. So let me tell you, we've fallen behind.
Yeah.
And it's not a bash about America. I don't want to hear anybody jumping in there of our 2 or 3 or 5 listeners telling me or whatever, oh, you're unpatriotic. That's horse shit. I consider myself a patriot and a proud American. And as such, I have
the right to criticize it.
And I have the right to believe that we can do better.
Right. Like this next product that I will show you.
There you go.
I want this so bad.
Thank you so much.
I have no use for it in the entire world, but this is a 48 popsicle maker. And I know that there's an Italian ice recipe that I can find that I could fill this thing up. And I don't know what I would do with 48 popsicles, but I have to have it.
I know what I'd do. I'd get a goddamn old van with no windows. And
drive around the neighborhood with a loud playing song?
No, not even that. Just a poorly scrawled, sign on the side that I've done in shoe polish that says free ice cream inside.
Oh, that's scary as fuck.
12 and under only.
12 and under only.
Yeah. And then
can't be taller than this.
And a tag that says NAMBLA. Now, let me tell you, for $161 though, you could literally get in business with this thing.
I think so.
I mean, we've seen the guys with the carts.
Yes.
And this is not a racist thing. A lot of traditions that they do in Mexico have now come here. So you see the cart with the little bell ringing and stuff, and you can get all this neat shit. I love that.
I do too.
I think it's fantastic.
And they might be bicycle mounted.
You bet. And it's part of the richness and tapestry of our nation.
Right.
And you know what? A lot of that stuff, you see the communities that operate more like we did back in the 50s and 60s.
Right.
You got your carnicerias, and panaderias, it's I love that. But something like that, I think you can make a business out of.
I like the return of the taco trucks.
Hell yes.
If every corner on the block had a food truck,
bring it.
I want to see that.
Absolutely. Taco trucks, I think, are fantastic. And I love that popsicle maker. You know what? If you had a kid that, a little kid that's wanting to do the lemonade stand, fuck your lemonade, Junior.
Yeah,
We're buying this, and I bet you get your return by the end of the summer.
But I can get my return on that by the end of the day.
Yeah, no shit. Have ice chest full of them. And
how much does packets of Kool-Aid cost these days?
Right. And I got to tell you, look at how snow cone booths do.
Oh, yeah.
Our parks in Midwest City have snow cone booths there. They've got a deal where they're permanently parked. Man, they're making a killing.
Absolutely.
And
a little bit of shaved ice and some sugar water.
Come on, man. It's you bet. So I think if you took this popsicle machine, I'm looking at it thinking, shit, I wanted to eat every one of them popsicles.
Okay. So I want to see more mobile businesses.
Yeah, so do I.
And one of the things that I really would like to see is a mobile mani-pedi operation. I want some little gal to pull up in front of the house in some bread wagon.
Okay.
And I walk out the door and I climb in her and she's got the big massage chair and the little foot bath and
you bet. We come to you and you get guess what? Is your lunch hour at work?
Right.
Girl, I got you. That's a fantastic idea. And we've just made somebody wealthy. You've just made somebody
because
wealthy.
It is illegal in the state for anybody to do that type of work on a
because
home base.
really,
Yep.
you got because it's controlled, I guess, by the cosmetology board.
I guess so.
You know what? If by God, if they can prepare food, I think they can trim my fucking toenails in a truck.
Right.
You know, a triple sink or whatever. There's got to be some way, but they'd probably make it so exorbitantly expensive to get set up that you couldn't do it. But you know what I did see? If that's illegal, I was at some pop-up shops at Wheeler Park a few weeks back.
Yeah.
I remember several weeks
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, that's the event that you didn't even let me know about, and I was like, man.
And it was like last minute. I just happened to see it and headed that way, and then went to the flea market, you know,
Yep.
or not. I mean, the farmers.
You
market.
went to the farmer's market without me too?
I know.
Damn it.
I got to tell you, I totally boned you on this, Bob. But
Oh.
at that pop-up shop, they had this trailer that was hairstylist.
Yeah.
That was right there. You could go in and you know, I was like, what all they do there? It was hair and some other stuff, but it was a trailer. Right in the middle of the pop-up shops near the giant Ferris wheel.
Okay, I don't see how they were actually able to do that, because they made a big thing whenever the whole pandemic started about people wanting their hair cut, and they said it was against the law for
Yeah.
hairstylists
Well,
to go do.
They might have been doing it illegally. It might have been a pirate stylist shop. You know, we've heard of pirate radio, and you know, Brian just got hard when I said that.
Pirate radio.
Yeah, and,
it takes him back to the 90s.
Yep. And so I don't know, but what a neat idea. And let me tell you, they were getting business.
Well, if you can have the mobile dog groomer pull up in front of your house, and you can send Fluffy out to get trimmed, why can't I walk my ass into a bread wagon that's comfy, air conditioned, and
yeah. Brian says at the bar podcast snow cone truck.
Yep.
You know what? We'd like to do some remote locations, some live shows.
Why don't we get a bread wagon, and we can sit in the back of that son of a bitch, have somebody drive us around, and we could just broadcast live from the road.
You know what? What would be awesome is to go to the events, and all we're doing is broadcasting out at the event. You know, but we've got our things set up
Right.
with our broadcast, and they can see us. You know, we're all sitting there in our mics, and we have somebody that's selling drinks. You know, whatever, hot dogs, popsicles. There you go, and also expressing your dog's anal glands if necessary.
Absolutely.
You know,
I don't know if I've ever had my anal glands expressed.
I don't know if I've got anal glands.
Brian?
Brian, how about your anal glands? You know,
I'm sorry.
in fact, I was talking with a friend. You know, if your dog starts stanking, you're getting a fishy smell when your dog's around. There's a good chance his anal glands not expressed. And you know what? If you're expressing a dog's anal glands as part of your job, by God, tell me you don't deserve a living wage.
You need, absolutely. At that point, you need to be tipped.
Brian said yes,
twice a week. That may have been contributing to his word problem.
That's what Annie's telling you she's doing to you, Brian. This is medically necessary.
Yeah, and let me assure you, it really doesn't hurt that bad.
Exactly.
Or it go that deep.
Yeah, when she's done, she's like, "That was a good anal expression you had there. All right, thank you, honey." You know, it's not like she was there, you know, looking for blackheads with a bobby pin
And a magnifying glass.
Right? She was hardcore there on with a policeman's nightstick, expressing your anal glands.
Yeah, but I just really like to see more mobile services, because I think I'd be on board with that.
Absolutely, and it's. Well, I think it's, you know, I've seen mobile car stereo installation way back in the day.
Oh, well, you can get your windows tinted mobile. You can get your car detailed and washed mobile. You can get your dog groomed.
I've got the number now for two different mobile mechanics.
Right.
This guy comes rolling up, and he's got everything in the back of this truck. I mean, like, you know.
Does it look like a Snap-on van?
I mean, it kind of does, but he's got everything, and he does it right there.
Yeah.
And he's affordable. And you know what? He's not paying a shop rent or a stall rent.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lift and stuff. You know, he has jacks, he has stands, he has creepers, whatever he needs, and he works hard for it. But that dude's going out there and making that money. He's young, he's motivated, and he does good work.
But what he's not doing is he's not paying a bunch of overhead costs on a brick and mortar building, a lease, and all of the associated costs that's with it.
Profit, and a lot of it's cash.
Yep. And so, you know, his van's parked in his driveway, and whenever he gets a call, he goes. And the only expenses he has is the gas it takes to get him where he's going.
That's it, man. I got to tell you, it's a great idea.
Good business model.
And, you know, the government hates cash. Cash is not the most fluid instrument.
Okay. I was going to ask you about this earlier. How much cash are you comfortable walking around with before you start getting nervous about having that much cash on you?
$2,000.
Okay. What made you arbitrarily come up with that number?
Because I wouldn't feel that number just always pops into my head, because I think it's because I knew someone growing up that he always had $2,000 in his wallet.
Okay.
And that was for any opportunity. And he was a wheeler dealer.
Okay. So anything that popped up, he had cash in hand to be able to
You bet.
snap
And
up a
his
deal.
philosophy was money talks,
Right.
bullshit walks. And when you make an offer,
Yep.
have the cash in your hand and show it to them.
Right.
And it's a powerful thing. And he was right. This is a man who knew how to buy shit and sell shit. But so $2,000 I always thought is a good amount to have around. It'll cover just damn near anything. $5,000 seems a little excessive. And if you start carrying too much and you get stopped by the police, I dare you, as a law-abiding citizen like you, Bob, who's man, you're no criminal record, no nothing. You're as clean as they get.
Yeah.
I want you to put $100,000, which isn't that big of physical amount of money, in your car and get stopped by the police. And if they decide they want to search it, they will seize that money.
You'll never see it again.
And you have to prove that it's clean money.
Right.
The government does not like cash it can't account for. That's why drug dealers have such a hard time, laundering money. They're always looking for ways to launder this money, the huge amounts of cash that build up. The government despises cash. They don't like anything they don't know about and can track. That's why Oklahoma's medical marijuana stuff, the federal
Well, it's not
government,
just Oklahoma. It's
I know.
Oklahoma, California,
You
Colorado,
and so
New York.
the government hates this shit. You know how much money they're not getting?
But they're not changing the laws to allow the banks to accept the
That's
money.
it. So I think the impetus for that to happen is the sheer amount of money that the government says we're getting fucked on.
Right.
That's what'll change, not the popular opinion of people. I think it'll all come down to the almighty buck, because, man, there's a lot of money.
Well, not
moving.
only that, but if all the money was in the banking system, then you've got all of the debit card, credit card, all of those players are on board. All of the banks have all of that cash in their vaults.
We can track everything.
Not only can you track everything, you've got the ability then to improve the economy, because the banks have that much more money that they have available to lend to people that need it.
It's how the government wants it to be,
Well,
and it's fine. And cash is, man, who doesn't like cash that they don't have to,
Well, one of the things that we've done poorly in our society is the way that we've treated our retirement accounts, because it used to be the fact that companies had a huge pool of people. They had huge retirement accounts, and then they had actuaries that said, okay, based upon this number of people and their ages and their lifestyle patterns, and when we predict them to retire, when they predict them to die, this is the amount of money that we need to keep in the retirement account to pay them what we told them we were going to pay them up until the time that they die.
You bet.
Nowadays, everybody's moved away from those type accounts, and now everybody's got a 401k or a similar type account.
They fucked you with the 401k.
Well, a 401k was never meant to be a retirement account. It was supposed to be a supplement to your retirement account. And Social Security was never meant to be a retirement account.
You bet.
Whenever Social Security was originally created, it was created to help those that already lived well past the average lifespan
At that point,
to help them until their life was over, and it could be a matter of days, weeks, or months. There were very few people hanging on to that for years and decades, which is has happened now.
And plus, okay, Ma and Pa worked their whole life farming, and now they're elderly and can't work, can't bring in a crop and things like that. And that gave them some income there, and it's so what they've done is exactly what I've been saying, what they're trying to do. The 401k there's no loyalty. They say, oh, it's portable for you. And and you move it around. That's true. It's portable and you can roll it over and all this stuff, but there is no loyalty. Once upon a time, you went to work for a company.
Yep.
You worked 30 years. You got you a gold watch. You got your retirement or however long, and you stayed there, and the company prospered from good employees. Now it's just, we don't give a shit. You're an endless pool of cattle we can pull from, but here here's your 401k, and we'll throw some matching in there maybe, you know, and they get away with it. And once again, that's how we devalue the American worker into cattle.
And what we've done is we've taken a great big huge pool of resources that was managed by professionals.
Yes.
And we have broken that down into millions of pools of resources that is managed by people that don't have the skills to manage those resources.
That's it.
And they're giving shitty investment options.
Yeah. Yeah. These, you know, plans, you know,
here's
targeted retirement date plans.
Here's your plan that we're going to give you a 4% annual return. Woohoo. Okay. Well, inflation was 3.5% and you're giving me 4. So basically I netted 0.5.
Yeah. And then I get to pay taxes on it when I fucking withdraw.
Or we had a bad year and now then my investment fund went down 3%, but inflation still went up 2. So now I've lost 5.
That's right. So knowing that and knowing my situation with divorce and every fucking thing else that I've been through and my poor planning and all this, I'm hoping I did not piss Jeff Bezos off with my comment about him using us as cattle, because I will be in my goddamn van at one of the work camps, the distribution centers during the heavy holiday time. So
You ain't black.
That was the wrong button.
wrong fucking button. Yeah. Here comes your racist band, you sons of bitches. You tell them, Joe. Sleepy Joe said it. You ain't black. You know, and Corn Pop was a bad dude. Motherfucker. But yeah, so I hope I didn't piss Mr. Bezos off too bad, and I hope that when he returns from his rocket excursion, you know, what did the guy pay, like 25 fucking million?
Okay. That excursion lasted a grand total of, well, the one that, Virgin
Land, Richard
Branson.
Branson, yeah.
His flight lasted 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That whole, this entire exercise up to now was to give him 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and how much did that cost? And it was his money. I got it.
Yeah,
it's yours. But for the cost of that.
But he's selling tickets to other people for $250,000 a pop. $250,000 for 15 minutes.
Well, he says, hey,
you know, there's some high-priced whores looking at that going, fuck, if I could get that.
Yeah. He's thinking, well, you know, hey, I'm providing, I'm filling a need. There's a desire for this, and that's what I'm doing. Yep, that's business, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I got to tell you, you wanted to fucking impress me, you rat-faced looking little cheesy son of a bitch. Don't fire off into a fucking rocket in space. Tell you what, do a build some affordable housing.
He does.
Okay, see, that's good.
Richard Branson has been known for his entire career as being a grateful philanthropist.
Then I apologize about the rat-faced comment. But yes, and it is his money to do what he wants. But I'll tell you, who was it? The great cartel person, Medellin.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Cartel. He was killed. Colombian. Come on, Brian, help us out here on the chat.
Take your pain pill. You should be good.
Shit. You know what I'm talking about. There's been shows about him, everything like that. He was a hero to those people. He built entire neighborhoods with his ill-gotten gain. So let me tell you, if you're going to be evil, be a man of the people, because everyone hates a crook unless it's your crook.
Pablo Escobar, who was a hero to these poverty-stricken people.
Right. I'm not trying to say Pablo Escobar was a good man.
No.
But I'm saying
he knew which game to play.
You bet. And I'll tell you, he had the support of those people, but still.
they protected the shit out of him.
You bet. So he got what he wanted, but
he gave everybody else what they needed.
Yep. And so I'm not saying go out and be a fucking cartel member and do all the good. But if you are going to be a cartel member, you ain't black. If you're going to be that fucking guy, do some good with it.
Right.
You're going to be Robin Hood, there's your classic tale. You're going to rob from the rich or whatever, or sell the rich their fucking coke. That's fine. But do some good with it too. And if Richard Branson is doing those things, kudos to the man who's a self-made man.
Right.
You know, philanthropy is one of the few things that the rich have. Once you have more money than you could ever spend, what do you have left? Either seeking power, or philanthropy, doing good deeds.
Well, okay. So I've got this weird thing about people that give money to charity. And whenever it comes to celebrities, you hear things like, oh, this person gave this person gave this. How did it affect their life?
Yeah, I did.
It didn't. So at the end of the day, did it really have an,
That's the old biblical parable about, the guy comes in and gives, like 2 cents, or whatever. And the woman comes in and gives 5 cents, and 5 cents was all I'm just paraphrasing.
Right.
5 cents was all she had. She gave 2 cents and the guy gave 5 cents, but 2 cents was all she had.
Right.
So who gave more?
Right.
She gave more because she gave all.
Right. He had $5 in his pocket. All he gave it is a nickel. She only had 2 cents. She gave everything she had.
And I'm not trying to shame someone because they weren't charitable enough, even though that's what it sounds like. But if you're worth $1 billion,
and you give $50 to help the United Way, and
if you give, you give $2 million, to your pet organization when you have $1 billion, Show me how powerful and smart you are. Show me how brilliant you are. You can say what you want about Bill Gates. He's, Mr. Evil Bill Gates, and I know he's a scary motherfucker and all this, and he's trying to control the population and all this other shit. But I'll tell you what, his organization, if you look at some of the problems they've tackled
and solved.
Yep. And when they go to universities and look for the brightest people and say, make me a device that can create fresh water from bad, that is mobile, cheap, easily repairable, or a system for handling sewage, which will help the health of these people because we don't have raw sewage. Let me tell you what. So make him out to be the fucking devil if you want. There is no such thing as good without bad.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something. I call it the Adolf Hitler principle, who was a prick.
Yeah.
But what he did do is he put his people to work, for coming out of a horrible, horrible depression. Please do not think I am praising Adolf Hitler. May he rot in hell with pineapples up his ass every hour. But what I am saying is
he have anal warts.
Yeah. Yeah. Horrible anal warts. But somebody along the way enjoyed his company or liked him.
Right.
And so
he didn't get to be where he was because everybody.
Sure. There was some kind of charisma. And yes, he was a megalomaniac. But I call that the Adolf Hitler principle because somewhere, somehow, someone got a benefit from that guy, that he helped them out somehow. So somebody can be bad or what we consider bad. People want to demonize Bill Gates and say, well, he said, the problem is too much population. Yes, he's making vaccines to sterilize us all. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Man. Let me tell you, his very close friend was T. Boone Pickens. What an unlikely pair, but they were very close.
Well, his other very good friend is, Nebraska Omaha, was the richest guy in the world.
Oh, you're not talking about Walt and Sam?
Warren Buffett.
Oh, no. Yeah, Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not T. Boone Pickens. God dang. Yeah, sorry. Warren Buffett.
Right.
That's what it was. Yeah, I'm
okay, so Nick's the T. Boone Pickens.
Nick's the T. Boone Pickens. In fact, I think they fought in a cage match one time. No. Yes, Warren Buffett. Thank you. Warren Buffett thought so highly of him and what they were doing. He turned over a lot of money to that foundation.
Oh, yeah. Well, Warren Buffett has pretty much signed a pledge to liquidate his entire fortune before he dies.
Yes. So and they seem like a very unlikely pair, don't they?
But they walk into McDonald's together and order with coupons.
Yeah. You know what? That is the hallmark of self-made wealthy men.
Yeah.
You ever notice they don't act like trust fund kids?
No, well, I saw a thing about Warren Buffett that he was pulling through the drive-through window, and he has one of two breakfasts that he orders on a regular basis, and he has the exact change available to give to them.
Yeah.
As he's pulling through the drive-through window. And
yeah. So he didn't get rich by giving away stuff, but now that he is rich, he can do philanthropy, but that's built into him. My dad was friends with a man he was a great man. He was special forces in World War II. He was a genuine hero. He ran his own business and retired from that and then did other things. And he was wealthy.
Yeah.
Very wealthy. And I remember one time him and Dad and I were going somewhere and we stopped. He's passed away now, of course.
Yeah.
But sweet guy, but he was an American patriot, man, let me tell you. But we stopped at this cafeteria, like a Luby's, and he ordered this, whatever their cheapest, whatever Lawan dinner or whatever it was, and with water.
Yep.
And he had kind of a sly. He sat down at the table and he said, if you order the dinner and then just get water and then get seated, when the waitress comes by, ask, can I get a cup of coffee? And you get a cup of coffee and they don't charge you for it. And I thought,
you cheap fuck.
I thought, get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
He didn't get that money by spending money.
I understand that, but at that point in time, that's a little ridiculous.
I know. I wanted to slap him and go, how about I buy you a cup of fucking coffee?
Right. Okay. So, my dad for years would go from his house around the corner to this little cafe, and he would go there and he would sit there for 3 or 4 hours and drink no matter how many cups of coffee. Have we talked about this?
No, but yeah,
okay.
that's everyone's dad past a certain age. Yeah.
Right. He'd sit there and he'd drink coffee for hours. Well, they went up from like $1.39 a cup of coffee to $1.69 a cup of coffee, and he quit going because fuck them for them charging 30 cents. That was going to charge him $1.50 more a week.
Yeah,
for 15 hours of his entertainment time,
his socialization,
right, and in a time that he could absorb that cost.
Yeah.
But he was just so bitter about them charging it. And it wasn't like it was 30 cents a cup and he wasn't paying per cup. He was paying the $1.
You bet. And then drinking all the coffee.
Drinking. They were making multiple pots for his ass sitting there. He was reading the newspaper. He at some point in time, he probably knew half the people that came in because they were doing the exact same thing as he was.
Absolutely. He'd have paid a whole hell of a lot more money for less entertainment.
Absolutely.
But it was the principle.
The coffee went up from $1.39 to $1.69, and fuck them and their 30 cents a day.
You fucking bastards.
They probably saved more money by him not coming in there. Yeah. Than if they'd have just raised their price earlier and got him the fuck out. He was taking up a booth because he wasn't going to sit up at the counter by himself. He was going to take up a whole booth, no matter what time of day it was and how many people were in there. He's there for 3 to 5 hours. He's drinking it. He probably used more toilet paper in their bathroom than what the profit that they were making off the coffee.
Once upon a time, those cafes were everywhere.
Yeah.
My dad was one of those, man. We'd go sit at the goddamn cafe. Now they're just disappearing. They're gone. These little bitty cafes and stuff, these small businesses, you can't hardly make a living at it. I think you can, but you have to do it right. You can't have...
You got to kick out all the old suck asses that are taking up a booth 3 to 5 hours at a time drinking 1 cup of coffee.
You can't have an 8-booth and 4-table restaurant and make a living.
Right.
Not when it's just the local cafe and you got suck asses sitting there.
Well, I saw a study they did a while back. Somebody had a video at a restaurant, and for some reason it was a security camera footage of a night at the restaurant in like 1987.
Right.
And it's the exact same restaurant, the exact same number of tables, same layout, everything. But the difference is, in today's day and time, people are spending so much time looking at their phones and electronic devices that they're actually taking up a lot more time at the table than the older meals cost. And so the restaurants don't get the nightly turn that they would normally get. So they're not making as much revenue.
Business models don't jibe with our current level of technology and how society operates now. Can you imagine somebody with a fucking Texas Instruments scientific calculator sitting at your table in 1987 for 4 hours playing on it?
Plotting graphs.
Yeah, you'd be like, this motherfucker needs to do my books or something.
And he needs to go home so somebody else can sit down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, things have changed a lot. God damn, let's start shaking our fist at kids that ride by our house on bicycles. You son of a bitch.
Get off our lawn.
Get off my goddamn lawn. He's not even on the lawn. It's like, what was the movie, To Kill a Mockingbird, when the little Girl Scout, she goes walking by that crazy old bitch's house and she's like, don't you wave at me, you ugly girl. And he's like, don't worry about it, Scout. She's a cunt.
I don't think that was the exact line of the movie.
I'm paraphrasing.
Yep.
Here's Boo Radley putting shit in a tree for you kids. He's totally not a pedophile. Meet Boo Radley.
Yep.
If Boo Radley shows up to my house and he's putting little trinkets in the tree for my kid, I'm dragging Boo Radley's special ass out of the house. Look, Nambla, beat it. But okay, God, how long have we ran this show?
I don't know. It's after 9. It's like it's like 20 till 10.
What time did we start this shit?
About 6:30.
Fuck them. Feed them fish heads. Well, I guess we ought to call it quits for the night before we. It looks like we even lost Brian. The painkillers kicked in.
Yeah, they must have kicked in. And he's either that or he's sitting over there in the corner biting a pillow.
Yeah, everyone's left us. Either that or Facebook's not doing anything for us now because. Yeah, Janie hasn't commented at all while she's long asleep. I got to tell you, thank you for tuning in. If I was in fucking Florida right now, I would not be tuning into this shit.
Right.
I would hopefully not.
I would have better things to do in Florida.
Yeah. And like I said, hopefully not some Latin lover in there telling, you look lovely this evening. And fuck that.
Well, I guess we'll pick up again next week.
Yep, I guess so.
And maybe Brian will be healed up enough to rejoin us.
Yeah, we'll get him some kind of a cushion or something like that for him.
Yeah, we'll get a donut.
Yeah, there you go. No more red cauliflower for Brian. All right, Bob.
All right. Well,
great show.
You guys have a wonderful evening and good weekend, and we'll see you next time at the bar.
Bye. And
Thanks for stopping by for a drink. I hope you enjoyed hanging out. Next time, invite some friends. Like and subscribe so you won't miss out the next time we are at the bar.